Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is G. Cole, and welcome to Homegrown, where we share with you some good music while talking to some great people. Hello world, hope you're feeling as good as I am. I want to big up all my homegrown listeners out there and welcome all the new listeners. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do so we can keep you updated when new material is available. We will be posting new episodes bi-weekly. Want to thank everyone who has been listening and sharing. Please leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Please check out the website homegrownwithgcole.com to listen and for all things homegrown. The podcast is available on iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Radio.com, YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcast. We are there. We're also very interactive. Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at MyGCole. The video of this interview is also available on YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is episode 154, and right now the climate of dance hall and reggae music, right, man, it's ripe. The world boss is here, and a whole bunch of other things. I want to talk about that with some special guests today from Real Rockers Radio, Mr. Marlon Burrell, and of course, Sir Rockwell from RockTheBox.net. This episode comes to you courtesy of the brand spanking new single by yours truly called Feeling the Love, featuring Ed Robinson. Yours truly, G. Cole and Ed Robinson, Feeling the Love. Available for stream, download everywhere. Also, go to bandcamp.com and buy yourself a copy. Download it. Get it for yourself, all right? We got things to talk about. I want to start a little different. Let me flip the microphone them and switch up all the camera them so people don't think I lie me. I tell say Marlon them there for real. Marlon, you know what I mean? Yeah. Marlon is in the building, and then of course I got drop. Sir Rock is in the building. You know, and they can't say them don't believe me. More time I say yo, they get someone come through them piece of hologram. So my money not up like that. Gentlemen, welcome. Pleasure. Let me ask you this. I'm going to start with you since the camera's on you, Sir Rock, right? Dancehall has, the people said dancehall has been at a standstill. Anytime people say the music is at a standstill, beat reggae, beat dancehall, it irks me because it's never true. It's, in my opinion, it's always people trying to promote whatever their agenda is. Right. A couple months ago, we had the freeing of the World Boss, and the World Boss touch road, right? Oofa world. I mean for them world, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Spice world. but the people them say, ever since that, there's been little stagnance and dormancies and other artists not putting out music. And from what I'm hearing, it's like not only in the world that dancehall, it trickled over into reggae music. As a person that's bringing the music to the masses and receiving the music from the people out there, the proprietors and the producers and curators, have you noticed any difference for better or for worse ever since the World Boss has been released?
First of all, it's absolute pleasure being on Homegrown with G. Cole.
Thank you, sir.
I've aspired to this from my early days in radio.
Mama made it.
I have arrived, Mama.
It's all good.
I be honest with you, I mentioned when we were talking before that I have files that I haven't even gotten into yet. Mm-hmm. And honestly, post-COVID, I have seen a slow down in music, period.
Immediately thereafter?
Immediately after COVID. Mm-hmm. I really, I heard you talking a couple of weeks ago with my brethren from Jamaica.
Kumar?
No, radio.
Bookman?
No, radio personality down.
Raddy G.
Raddy, right. Mm-hmm. And he brought up some really great points, I don't know if I can say that dancehall has slowed down, honestly, because I am not a huge dancehall proponent. Those that are in it, my daughter's age, I hear them playing tune after tune, new artist after new artist, new artist after. I think what has happened is the people that are critiquing the genre are moving into an age where they're really not in tune
to what's going on.
Because I can tell you all of the roots artists them that is working and the tune them are coming out.
Right.
Rhythm Stream send me some things, and when I click on them, I don't even know these artists. I've never heard about them in my life.
Yeah.
But obviously they're doing things.
Right.
And the younger generation they're playing it. Another thing is that we have to understand where we are in radio. as far as a demographic, an age group, we are playing for a certain type of audience.
Yeah. Not kids.
Unfortunately, our audience don't spend the kind of money that
they do.
But
do them spend money?
Well, when you think of, all right, let's talk about I just looked at cartel prices, and non-VIP, the highest non-VIP thing I think was $2,000
in Jamaica. The sleep on people, them have money. When Chris Brown comes, them have it.
You understand me?
Burna Boy comes,
obviously that demographic is willing to pay for it.
Right.
You and I definitely not. We take that $2,000 and Ghana Hawaii.
Hold on. I remember when Chris Brown came. I remember when Burna Boy came, right? I remember when Bojo came.
That's right.
And people said that was a different demographic that would be able to afford these tickets and pay for them tickets, right? But now it's cartel, and the ticket prices are still high. So that means that it's not just...
But let me ask you this. Because if somebody came to me, I'll be honest with you. If somebody came to me and gave me $2,000 or gave me a VIP ticket, out of curiosity, I would go.
Right.
Media, want to be in tune of just hearing the information, I would go. How many people, for example, let's just digress a second. Fox News has the highest rating. I have contributed to that because I'm curious what the opposition is saying, so I log on. So how many people are going to cartel for cartel, or them just want to be in the middle of the hype?
$2,000 for 2 G's.
Well,
I mean, curiosity costs $2,000.
Think about it, though, Bridget. There are enough people in Jamaica that can pay $2,000 out of curiosity. Pay $2,000 to say they were there. There are enough people in there for the venue.
But that also says to me pretty much that the demographic that people used to say listening to dancehall, because from this vantage point, right, us being here, we see when it comes to hip hop, we see when it comes to all these things in the Marlon, that it ain't the street people, it ain't the poor people, it ain't, and them support the vibe, right?
Correct.
It's uptown.
Exactly.
Money.
But so, are they there for the artists, or are they there because of the hype that the artists
they want to be able to say
that's what I am saying. How many of those people really play a cartel in a BMW when them a drive? Are them Range Rover? Are them about some berries? Are some chronics?
We gotta talk about chronics.
I know. I open the door. I
open the door. Marlon, I've been saying a big cartel fan in the last time. Some of them fixing me.
Marlon bust the cartel tune them, pod global base,
Have you seen any difference?
In terms of the musical output?
The musical output, especially from the dancehall artists. Because it seemed like there was a time when dancehall was pregnant with music and just give birth, be a triplets and quadruplets and things come out. And then World Boss come on road and everybody up on contraceptive.
Well, wow. I noticed
wow.
Wow.
Just saying.
Wow.
I didn't breed again.
No, that difference has been there though prior to cartel coming out. There is
the encyclopedia. Bust it now. Watch.
There's a difference in the output. I think from observing, I think people are starting to realize the concept of the music business instead of flooding the market with music. So I think that has been there. So the output has slowed down, but I don't think that it has anything to do with cartel there.
But G, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Which dancehall are you talking about?
The young people dancehall.
Okay.
Young people dancehall. Because I will say this. I did notice up until somebody mentioned something is when it clicks to you and be like, there's some truth to this. Because prior to cartel coming out is when I started getting introduced to these, the Nigeris, you have the Sking, the Silk Boss, a whole bunch of people.
Right.
I'm talking about like 40 different new names
that
were putting on stuff every day that I wasn't listening to. But they were putting on stuff every day. And then I saw this article, I don't remember where I saw it, that referred to the whole concept of cartels everywhere now. What's going on? Right. And then I started looking into it and be like, for real, since about August, man, I hear nothing.
But is it tied to music, or is it tied to the businesses behind the music?
The views of Rockwell does not represent those of Homegrown. G. Cole doesn't represent G. Cole.
That's right, sure. You see, there's so many nuances to this business, Reggie.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
Right.
Because some people used to go dance and hang out. Now cartel go dance, some people now go dance no more.
Different set of people go dance now.
Different set of people can go dance now.
That's what you mean. So what you mean.
Our music is so inextricably tied to other things.
Right.
Success,
It ain't never just the music.
success of artists.
Yeah. True.
Artists appearing on certain shows or not appearing on certain shows.
Yeah.
Artists appearing with certain artists are not appearing. There are so many behind the scenes stories that affect what we see up front. So is it that they have slowed down, or is it that they have had to slow down? The man that said them are the king of road now, king of road come a road now, all of a sudden now them are king of corner. You understand?
I feel like the geopolitics around dancehall
Exactly.
is worse than the political
Exactly.
JLP, PMP.
Because remember, most of these artists are coming out of a camp.
Yeah.
Or a camp from a camp. One man that was in a certain camp, get him own camp, but still affiliated to the big camp.
Yeah.
So you're guilty by association.
Right.
And that affects the business. Can you be a road and do on every show, or just come off floss in a VIP on every show now when certain man might show up?
Yeah.
Because I see certain things now that he's showing up just randomly now, him just pop up your song.
So you never know when the man
Yeah,
will
never-
pop up.
Yeah.
John, the Cam got church
So
in
we-
peace now. You never know.
So with, so a lot of it is speculation, because the three of us are not rolling in that circle to understand, as you said, the geopolitics or the neopolitics or any politics tied to the business.
Yeah.
Because engineers and studios are tied to certain camps.
Very true.
You understand me?
Very
Where
true.
a man could have got through and a man say, boy, you really shouldn't record here, but we are taking money and record you. All of a sudden now him just flat out can't go to the studio.
Yeah, he ain't taking the
Can't
chances
hit
no
the
more.
road.
I saw the thing set up.
Yeah.
I saw the nuances of Jamaican music and Jamaican culture.
But it's not
Yeah,
just, but
yeah,
hold on a second. It's no different here. East Coast, West Coast rappers, still the issues are there. A man go inside, come inside a certain city, them have to come see certain rappers before. I make them know, so we there, we know, we have no trouble, we just come to do one show where it happens in rappers.
You know what? That just brings to mind. There's that video clip that was circulating a while back with Ninja Man and Merciless.
Yeah, exactly.
Having a little, and Merciless said, Ninja Man, you can't cover Clarendon and nobody do nothing.
Yeah, you say you can't, because
I got you.
me.
Yeah.
You understand?
The politics and the nuances surrounding this music. Ladies and gentlemen, Sir Rockwell, Marlon Burrell. Right now, we are in Grammy season.
Let the annual cussing begin.
The annual BS begins, right? Before I posted a little video on this thing, and prior to, I always drop a disclaimer, being honest. There were 75, which is a damn shame, by the way, 75 albums submitted for the reggae category, right? People always talking about the concessions made to facilitate certain artists and whatever, without realizing that there are concessions made just to keep the reggae category afloat. It's supposed to be a buck and change that's supposed to be submitted.
Yeah.
They're now, so then we're gonna deal with the 75, right? So concessions are already being made right there. However, after 75, I don't think I listened to a third. Many years passed, outside of the ones that was just totally out of my realm, I could say I listened to a half, I listened to 60%, 70% of the stuff. This time, I cannot lie, I did not listen to more than about 30% of them. And then when we came down to the wire now, to the 5 actual nominees, right? We had the Shensia project, which I listened to. I like Shensia. I like commercial music. I'm not here for the underground stuff. If you want to do it, great. Give me the fluff all day long, right? So I like that one. Collie Buds, that's my horse in the race. I really like that album. It's just like easy listen.
Me
Yeah.
and you both.
Yeah.
I just like the record, the album.
Yeah.
The One Love Project, there was a misconception about that one, that it was the soundtrack from the movie.
Right.
A lot of people were mad about that because, as far as them see that the Marley show.
But let me just stick up in with that thing first. I don't want to say big up to Reggae Ross, because our brethren and thing, and he's solidly in this. But I am lousy with names, but I am really good with conversation. You said something to me. You asked my daughter. She chooses her words carefully, because what you say is what I remember.
Right.
When that came out, that not soundtrack, it was marketed, it was launched as a soundtrack from the One Love movie.
The album that is up there as a nominated album right now.
Those tracks were from the soundtrack of the One Love movie. They were from the soundtrack of the One Love movie.
But they weren't released.
But all of a sudden, the same compilation of songs now is not a soundtrack.
All right, so here's what I'll say.
It is semantics
Here's
to me,
what I'll
brethren.
say. I think unscrupulous genius is what I'm gonna call it, right? Because I personally think the play, because then could I call the album something else? They could I call the album something else, right?
It's a wordplay.
It's a wordplay. You already knew the movie was out, the soundtrack
Semantics,
was out, and they dropped it on that. But why I'm not mad is because it's not the same old. People have a tendency to feel like the Grammys are the Marleys thing, right? So if they had one with all of Bob's records on there, which honestly moved the business because Bob deserved a Grammy, but I digress. I would have tripped about it. But this record, the album that came out, One Love, with a whole bunch of different artists from all over the place,
Right,
taking their spin and their take on it. I actually like the album.
Songs inspired by the film is
what they called it.
Yeah.
I'm with you though in terms of the name One Love. I think that was some intentional.
Yeah,
It was because when I got the list of nominees, I was with you, Sir Rockwell. I thought it was a soundtrack, and I'm like,
Were you disappointed?
May I ask you this?
if it was the soundtrack, yes.
How many movies could get away with
But
that?
I wouldn't be shocked either. But
were you disappointed because of the fact that they made concessions for a soundtrack, or were you disappointed because here's another opportunity when nobody really don't have a shot? What was it about it that disappointed you?
I think all of the above, really. Why couldn't it have gone in the soundtrack catalog?
Because it wouldn't be a stronger contender.
Oh, so you conveniently put it where
so they're already only
yeah, but hold on. But you see, this therein lies the problem with this whole Grammy thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm big up to Tough Guy, cause we're close. Della and Mishwa and the whole lot, we will roll together and stuff. But there are 375 sons and 595 grandsons and grandchildren. Mm-hmm. How long can the Marley name be tied to the Grammy, and everybody else has to fight the Marley name in the Grammy finals, in the final five? This can go on for the rest of eternity. There are so many Marleys that can be that are already involved. Every year, them could have just say your turn for drop an album.
Right.
And automatically, there are just 4 slots left.
Well, all right. Like last year, who won last year? Julian, right?
Yeah.
Love Julian Marley.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, that's one of the times when I saw the genius of what went on, where Steve Marley dropped an album, which to me is always brilliant. If Steve drop an album, just don't drop none.
Yeah.
And I expected that one not only to be nominated but to win.
But here's the thing. But you notice what happened.
Because it was a good album.
It was a good album.
It was great.
It was a great album.
But you saw what happened, right? They didn't submit it for reggae.
Right.
At all. They submitted it for another category.
Right.
That was Big Brother saying, I got 500,000 of these at the crib. You don't have none yet.
Your turn.
Your turn. And guess what? I'm not mad.
But a solid project.
Hell yeah.
A solid project. See, I don't think people have a problem with the Marleys winning a Grammy.
Mm-hmm.
I think the challenge comes when people feel as if, like I said, ultimately there will only be 4 slots left.
Yeah.
That it's a given that no matter what, there will be a Marley project in the final 5. I think that's what people are kind of.
But I think there's a shift also, you know.
And from about 3 years ago.
Is it a shift?
From about 3 years ago.
Was it like American politics when they gave you the black president and say, yo,
no,
hold him, go another one?
No,
it's a shift.
It's a shift.
It's a shift. Because going back to 2019, Sting and Shaggy won over Skip Marley.
Here comes Marlon. Here we go now.
2020, Coffee won over Ziggy Marley.
Yeah.
And 2021, Toots won over.
I don't think there was no Marley.
There was a Marley in it, and there was a Wailers also when Toots won. There was a Marley and there was a Wailers album.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, though, because you said earlier that you don't think is that people don't want to see the Marley win. And I'd say I don't know. I think they don't. And the reason why I said that is this.
They don't. I mean,
They
being on radio for as long as I have.
They don't.
That's what a lot of people cuss over every year.
They just don't want it.
Here's
because
the
it's
thing,
not
though.
like the Man Them album. Whenever they do win, I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. It's 2 years when they win. I was like, I could have gone another way. One, when Halfway Tree won over Music Is Life.
And my pick was Halfway Tree.
Was Halfway Tree.
Yeah.
And I was good with it. But that was 1 year where if the Nikito Music Is Life, I'd be like, all right, cool. Right? Then when Chronics was in there and Stony Hill won over it,
Yeah.
I was mad. I wanted Chronics to win because I wanted the underdog, so to speak. But me never vexed because it's not like it's an inferior.
You know where I think
I thought that Stony Hill was the better album, and that's why I said, you know what,
You were good with
give it to him.
But I was rooting for Chronics because I just I wanted to break the cycle of people saying it has to be a Marlon.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
agree
you know
with
what I
that.
mean? Yeah.
But the thing also, is that there is such a disconnect between who and how decision is made for the Grammys and the listening audience, because a lot of them believe it's popularity.
So it's politics.
But it's popularity within a small group. It's
Right,
not
right.
popular.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
all
yeah.
popularity.
Right.
Understand me?
Right.
How many years have you seen the final five and go, so and so had an album? I've never heard of that album. Every year there's at least one or two albums that I have in the finals. So I am saying now, for somebody who's just been on radio for almost 30 years and almost everybody send me tune. How do we? And I mean, sometimes Marlon and I have we've had it year after year. Clinton, we'd say, you have that album? No. You heard of that album? No, I never really heard that album before. So there's a disconnect between
Who is voting?
and who is listening.
Although there
Who
is
is making noise?
right.
Because it vex people, them not vote either.
Right.
Right. No.
Not
Absolutely.
really buying
Right.
albums.
Right.
But
Are buying albums.
Yeah.
I have spent a lot of time in the last couple of years down in Wynwood. And I'll tell you this. There are more non-Caribbean DJs that now have Protege, Chronics, Coffee, Jashi, Skeng in a mix. I'm not talking about Jamaican DJs. That group, Lila Ike, that group has crossed over.
Right.
And I think a lot of people now are getting a little disconcerted because they're hearing it in mainstream, but it's not reflecting in things like Grammys. Them not see again. Calibuds is there's more than one reason why I want.
Well, I think
we have family.
We got family in it.
We got family in that.
We got horses in the race.
Yeah.
But I think part of that equation to Rockwell is the fact that even though they're getting the crossover play in live venues, commercial radio isn't doing their part where that's concerned. And I think the Grammy nomination is highly tied to commercial airplay.
Is it? Because here's the thing:
I don't know,
commercial airplay or commercial affiliation.
I think you're ending up back in the politics of it again, because
But you can't avoid the politics because it is politics.
where else are you who else are you going to hear on commercial radio more or less other than Amali?
Our Shaggy.
Not Shaggy. No,
Yeah.
I mean I taking Shaggy even with Amali. Shaggy still in M1.
In M1
yeah.
And
Shaggy
then
is
sing
still
on top.
there.
And that's why that year I mean unless the last year was Christ, I didn't think
That was
anybody
a
was going
brilliant project.
It was a brilliant project strategically and sonically. And more strategically
and economically.
So it was going to rip. Then they might as well name the album Grammy winner.
Yeah, I mean, you put Shaggy and Sting and see a project
Yeah,
like
what else they gonna do, right?
It would be Marley and God.
Automatic.
It can't be a Marley alone. It would have to be Marley and God.
And God featured. I see what you're saying. But people don't realize the strategies behind
And that is it.
winning a Grammy. Or even being nominated for a Grammy.
being successful.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not. This is the thing, This is what.
It's not just on the merit of the music.
Nah, it ain't
That,
music.
and
It ain't music.
I think more and more artists are realizing that
Yeah.
there is more to it than just putting out a song. Yeah, it has slowed down. But Bridget, I used to get almost 800 tunes a week.
And that's what I was saying. I think people are beginning to understand the business aspect of the business. I think they are realizing the mistakes that the predecessors have made. In terms of flooding the market, putting out tunes every week. Remember when
recording with multiple producers, that as soon as you get a one hit, everybody drop every tune them have for the artist. I mean,
true story. Yeah. In the 90s, that's why Sanchez wasn't signed to a major label.
Because they couldn't put out a project.
True story. Because as soon as say Bobby Digital drop a single, Penthouse drop one, King Jammy's drop one.
Yeah.
You know.
Him too loose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a singer still.
Yeah, no, but that's the truth. And I mean, I have received 3-4. The only genre that I see that has been able to successfully do that. An artist drop 5-6 and it's still doing it. It's soca. I mean, Bunji can drop 4 tune in a 1 week and everybody hot over the 4 tune them. It's soca is a different vibe.
But I think reggae and dancehall shares the vein in terms of people hot over the song them. But I think where it differs pretty much is, maybe we're not watching the soca metrics. We don't see the translation of metrics from all of them songs. So when a man drop 5-6 song one after the other, we just know say one kill the other because we don't hear it on the radio no more. We don't hear it at the dance hall no more. But we don't know how it's affecting on the charts and whatever the case may be.
But understand, you know, just like in radio, people do radio for different reasons. Some do it for hobby. Some do it to make money. Some do it to make money from commercials or whatever the case may be. These soca artists are putting a catalog together for various carnival seasons so they can do a 45 minutes of nothing but hits and get paid them $30,000-$40,000 for a show and do island after island after island after island. It is. I remember Lydie Campbell saying something to me, and he had the 45s when Lydie used to come through studio door with box of 45s. I'm like, Lydie, all I'm saying, Rockwell, these records are nothing more than business cards.
Wow.
I looked at the business from a totally different angle after that.
Right.
Lydie wasn't putting it out for the money.
Right.
He was putting, if you notice Lydie catalog for a while ago, Lydie was recording his artists. The artists he went on tour with. The Fionas, the Glenn Washington, the Freddie McGregors, Lloyd Brown,
Mikey Spice.
Yep. So it was an investment for the work. I have spoken to many producers like, Marlon, oh my God, that a record of Selma Brock. Different way of looking at the same business.
Yeah. True that.
Yeah, that's done.
True that.
Yeah.
So these soca artists, it's an investment for the show them, because you go from Canada, come all the way down in the islands, everybody that have a carnival, you do the math on it.
But let me ask you this, because back in the day when we used to talk about the mistakes of our OGs, right, the predecessors, right, people complain about how they got shafted from royalties and whatnot, and I'm saying to people, well, I don't know if they got shafted, because back in them days, they weren't thinking long term. They were, you see, this what you're talking about, the soca artists right now, they were creating those songs for the stage.
Yeah.
Forget a bus and the road, right?
Right.
Fast forward today, it doesn't have that effect like what the soca artists have doing that right now.
True.
Is there a reason for that? Or did we just do it wrong? Is it that we did it wrong? Or is it a fan base?
It's a fan base thing. The reggae / dancehall market, I mean, they're separate, but at certain points they're together. Well, there's a point that you brought up earlier. We are typically not the music buying public. So
we never were.
So the dancehall reggae fan, the Jamaican music culture, our fan base that we work so hard to please, right? Yeah. Most critical in the world, are not consumers of the music.
No,
but we know that.
We know that.
Yeah,
we know that.
So is that saying that the soca audience consumes the music? Soca audience buy music? And I'm asking seriously because I don't know.
But again, I'm asking you, does it matter?
Well, no, because they're getting their shows. But are the dancehall artists not getting the shows?
Are they structured enough to do it the way the major soca artists are doing it?
Well, the soca artist is coming in the venue and telling it to wine, and our artist is saying shoot people. So it's a total different.
No, but seriously, but no. I mean, and there are exceptions. There are exceptions to the rule, but how many of these artists, and you take the Beanie Man and the Bounty out of the equation, how many of them are on, your chronic singing it, still Marley I play, you understand me? You understand? How many of these guys are out of the island for 6 months out of the year?
No, is that by choice?
I don't business, don't ball if you don't, if you're not work, then don't ball that you don't have the money.
But how many are willing to put in the work and do what it takes? How many people are going to do promotional shows?
Are soca artists doing promotional shows?
I don't know, but I don't think it makes a difference in terms of where our artists need to be. Are you willing to do what it takes to get to where you say you want to be? Are you willing to do that work?
Right.
Are you willing?
It's an investment.
Because I've heard it. I've heard some artists say, "Boy, if me I go on a plane, me not go on a plane. I not collect money, and we not, what I mean? They
there's money at home.
Yeah.
But again, I know down in Jamaica now they are typically everything is calculated in US dollars. But are they getting $30,000 a show in US dollars in a show in Jamaica?
In Jamaica?
In Jamaica.
I doubt it.
Thank you.
I doubt it.
$30,000-$40,000 in. So my thing is, I'm coming from an older school. I am coming from a school where I sit down with a Winston Foster and it's boy Rockwell. I take off December, I stop.
Yeah,
one month out of the year.
Who's this Winston Foster you speak of? Let people know.
That'll be King Yellowman.
King Yellowman. Okay, just want to make sure. You know what I mean?
When a man have a plan, when you look at a Morgan heritage that, then right, tell them. Yo, you can't tour for a whole of your life. You need 2-3 years on the road and you go back to your family and you spend 6 months with your family, a year with your family and make sure everything right. These guys are constantly on the road. And so when you look at success, and my grandfather used to say success is relative.
Yeah.
Very.
You understand?
Yeah.
Very.
You understand? Maybe it's the Benz. I went to an artist house a couple of years ago in Jamaica. As a matter of fact, he came up to do a show in Fort Lauderdale. Excuse me. And he saw my truck. And he said, "Boy, Rockwell, I have the same truck down in Jamaica." I said, "Yeah, really nice. Coincidentally, I ended up going down and going to man yard and man truck literally longer than him house.
Yeah, I've heard those stories. And
he's successful.
Damn bad minded people.
And he's successful in his mind. He's successful. You understand?
His success has wheels.
Yeah.
It's all about
his success is on the move.
People see what you drive. How many people know where you live?
You understand? You understand?
Very much so.
So, and I hear the stories, and we know it. What they say on the air when you turn off the mic and go, "Yo, bro, things rough, ray, tay. But are you doing the work? You understand? Are you doing the work?
Right.
They look at these artists now. You look at a Freddie, God bless him. A Winter in their latter years when I'm a cruise. These guys are on the road 10, 11 months of the year to reach the point where them don't have to do it like that anymore.
Right. Yeah.
But they want the trappings that these guys have and the respect. But
Without
them don't want to put in the work.
Yeah,
the sacrifices
that's what it is.
That's
what it is. The people, I think that there's a misconception that, boy, if me make good music and put it
that's
a road,
all it takes.
That then we're supposed to go on and
I remember,
especially culture artists.
All right.
Especially culture artists.
I remember a time, and this is actually a compliment to the engineer, so I don't want anybody run and make any statements about it. But there was a time when I used to get a record, and the first thing they would have said to me is Stephen Stanley mix it, because they thought that's all it took.
Yeah.
Was for Stephen Stanley to mix the tune, and then it guaranteed it I go fly. No work, no PR, no nothing. Just that was a calling card. Rockwell, Stephen Stanley mix it, and every artist come and tell me, Stephen Stanley mix it, as if that's all. Kudos to him because he built his reputation for doing good work.
Absolutely.
But they thought that it ended there.
I heard that here too. A lot of people have come to me, and before them tell me, say I've them up on the record. Before them tell me the musician, before they tell me the name of the track, before they tell me what the song's about,
Who
tell me,
must
say, I will it though. I will it
know. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah.
So true. And they figure more or less is gonna traction will come off of the
and
name.
that exactly.
Yeah.
And that and kudos. They would say the same thing about Lydie Campbell too. They, you know what I mean? They would like, Lydie Campbell do this, you know.
Yeah.
And they figure they don't have to do the work.
Yeah.
You call them for an interview, them don't show, them show late, or whatever the case may be, them don't do. You ask them for, I doing an event. You know how many times I'm emceeing a show and I call an artist and say, can squeeze your hand for just come stand up in the audience and I give you one tune, you have an audience in front of you. How much you going to pay me, Rockwell?
Yeah. They don't get the concept.
Yeah.
No
investments made. And on top of that too, I think half the issue too is we don't work records, right? I know many R&B songs that I listen to and love, and me or the man I promote the one R&B song for 9 months.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And on top of that, you ain't getting another one.
They expect us as radio people
to work the record
to
forward.
do it.
I am going to sit out on this conversation. I am getting triggered. I am getting triggered right now because since that door has been open, may I tell the artists them right now, and I'm not trying to be facetious or anything, but you see, if I know you and you send me your tune with 72 other DJ in the email, I don't even open it.
Right.
Me see you on road with talk and everything, and you expect me for work. You don't even talk to me, but of course the expectation
is
that
there, nonetheless.
You are automatically in rotation.
Yeah.
Me know you, me see you on road, and when you send me the song, you send me with just basically every DJ email that you have. Thank you, but no thank you, sorry. It's only a 4-hour show. Me I have a limited amount of time to play a show.
5 days a week. But I digress. It's a lot of hours, Rocco. It's a lot.
20 to be exact.
When I feel like waking up at 9,
before you go any further, let me big up Tony Carr. Tony, great seeing you, brethren. Tony, I always give my shout out in the mornings. Mr. David Muir, Francie Marbury, good one, Mish McLean. I have to big up the people them that are yellow because we're not even paying any attention to them.
True.
So
Donna Henry, big up.
Donna. Hey, Donna. Yeah, okay. Donna is part of your group. She not the Gators. Yeah. I've been left out of that group.
Sir Clive Davis.
Sir Clive Davis.
Sir Clive Davidson.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Steve Tulloh.
I need to talk to Sir Clive. Yeah, but and see, I think that's one of the missing ingredients for these artists is when they talk about working a record, is what's really involved in working a record, and it's not much. It's really not much, but again,
it's just being there. You know what it is? Some would say it's just giving a damn.
Exactly.
It's just
instead of the assumption.
Yeah.
But here's a great question in the chat though. Jen Cheshire.
Yeah.
What is the point of spending money for studio time, but you don't pay for marketing? Like. This is why I love Jen, And an industry insider said this to me years ago, when I was kind of young and in the radio things. Like, these artists, when they budget to make the song, to pay musicians studio time, they must budget promotion too.
Yeah. But they don't do that.
Are you speaking of payola?
They don't.
I'm not talking about payola.
That's
what they say.
That is the get out of jail card for them. Oh no, we don't deal with payola. Well, guess what? Then you don't really want your thing go
and they don't understand the business.
And it's not a matter of blackmail, but understand when you get $200-300 or 200-300 songs, Freudian slip there.
Rev.
But when you get 200-300 songs a week and you want to give everyone a fair shake, you want to give everybody a one play, even with 20 hours, how do you separate yourself from the pack if you don't have a marketing plan? in order.
But
How do you...
When you get 200 more next week, who gets dropped?
Who get dropped? Exactly. If you're being fair to even
the 200 for last week.
Exactly.
All 200.
Well, you know, every Monday you hear a new 200 songs.
I tell you this, I had this struggle with an artist, like face to face. The artist, I was playing a song that, because if me love it, me I'll play it.
Yeah.
Right? I don't get paid to play it. If me love it, me I'll play it. And I'll play the song every week. Somebody said to me, say, boy, G, me send you a song from such and such. I'm going to hear it. I'm going to hear play such, because first of all, every artist bad man the next artist.
Yeah.
So you play such and such and such and such. I'm going to I like the song. I said, boy, so you don't like mine? Well, truthfully, I haven't heard it. But the reality of it is this. I like the song. I think the song deserves a fair shake. So I play it every week till the whole world hears it, as far as I'm concerned. When I get to your song, wouldn't you hope for me to do the same?
Yeah, but by the time by the time you get to his song, it's a whole song.
Oh yeah, true. And him just drop 4 more.
And him drop 10 more in between.
Between now and Friday.
You see, this is the thing. These are the things that them not like. Because I'm so close to artists and producers, I have friends. I know people who, if them wife knows so them buy that piece of equipment for their little studio, she will roll. But it's for the improvement of the production and everything, making every sacrifice. When I get a song, like you said, it's a decent song, I'm going to do whatever I can. I put it in rotation and I work it as much as possible. But I don't know about you two. But this is not a hobby for me.
Right.
This is a business.
Right.
This is what I do. Amongst other things, you know what I'm saying? Amongst other things.
Right.
How do you expect us to stay on air? An artist told me one day that him uncle opened a restaurant and I'm going to talk to him uncle to see my uncle can run ads for me. And I said, cool, let me know. Him say, yeah, because me have two tune figure.
That's barter.
I'm good with that still, you know. I'm good with that.
Right.
But I want people to understand that most of us are doing reggae promotion. Don't call it reggae radio. We are doing reggae promotion and being sponsored by restaurants.
Right.
True.
It's not artists sponsoring us to make us stay on the air.
That's true.
It's not the business paying for the business.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a restaurant or a car dealership that is paying for it. And I think that it is grossly unfair.
It is.
Yeah, but you have to try to dip in a Gucci money. And the thing is that Gucci belts have to be bought. And
I wear size 14 shoes. So it's more leather upon that. I'm a pants them long, I'm a shirt sleeve them long. But you understand?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the fear for me is that it'll never change.
It won't.
Because when you sit down and have the conversation with the artists, you realize that they're reality warped. It comes right back around to what we were saying earlier about the culture artists, for example. Them just feel, say, from the message to the music, them don't even know nothing more, right? You not even have a song good. Just have message in there. No rhyme, no reason, production shoddy, whatever the case may be, written the song good. But I'm saying something positive in here.
Well, you went further than me.
It must reach.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this now. We're still there Grammyville because it's Gripe Central, right?
Yeah.
So the Cartel, have either of you listened to the Vibes Cartel album?
I got halfway through it.
Damn. Same?
Yeah.
Okay. So you listen to the Vibes Cartel album. What do you think?
Production wise, decent. Just not my content.
Competitive with the other stuff.
But
in terms of what we know the Grammy.
But you see, I am confused with reggae Grammy and some of the songs that fall in the category of reggae Grammy. And this has been this argument for years that it should be a reggae and a dancehall. Reggae can barely survive.
But here's the thing: is the first of all, you have to get.
But dancehall is not reggae.
You have to get it right. What we do have, we have to get that right first.
Exactly.
Before, because reggae is barely hanging in there.
Barely.
But here's the thing.
No. Hold on. Reggae is barely hanging in there. Where? Here.
No,
I'm talking about in the Grammys.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And the truth is,
so if you separate them,
worse.
you're still you're in a worse position.
Because dancehall artists, up until very recently, never really made albums. You very few. If you count all your favorite, is the artists that were big.
That's true. It's always singles.
So you would never have anything to have in there. But when we look at what the Grammys, atypically what it is, right? The Cartel one, we hear the dancehall. We hear that one. We hear Shenseea. I listened to the Wailers one too. I listened to One Love because I hadn't heard it up until then.
That's when I just listened to it over the weekend because I haven't heard it.
I like it.
I haven't heard it.
I listened to it at the same time because we were in the same conversation
when we go,
with
and
Ross.
You did the same thing.
And I have to pick up Ross because he made the clarification in the post to say, hold on, it's not that. Because
that's when I realized it wasn't the soundtrack.
That it wasn't the soundtrack.
But I spent the rest of the week explaining the same thing to people now.
But I'm going to ask this question. How many of those songs are in regular rotation currently?
And that's what I meant. That's what I was alluding to earlier when I said even the radio popularity is not what dictates who's going to win a Grammy or not.
But it can't be because there's no reggae radio. There is no unity in reggae radio.
And then and we have to talk about music being played on commercial radios too, because even if they were being played on reggae radio, that's not what they the powers that be are measured from anyway.
Yeah, who's voting?
Yeah.
Who's voting?
Right.
But you look at it's like politics. It's just like the primaries we just had the other day.
It
You're
is
campaigning
politics.
for these people. You're making sure you're in the thick of things. That's the reason why no matter where you say nominated and everybody has send them thing. Me have a man all vex with me because them albums get submitted and me no reach out to them. For bring them on in support of the album when I'm always supporting the artist, right?
You know, I'm going to tell you this. I said on my show last week, was it last week or earlier this week? 2025 for me is a totally different ball game. It's a totally different ball game. 2025 is going to mark my 15th year on Rock the Box.
Right.
And I have just reached a point where I don't listen to people anymore. I really mean this. I really don't listen to anybody anymore. I know, because you can't have a say if you're not supporting.
Same thing with the Grammys. You don't want to pay the $100.
Listen, there was a conversation that I had once with Gramps. And Gramps, I was like, yo, when you're coming into town, da-da-da-dee-dee-dee. And he's like, boy, you know, I have to go to California, but, oh my God, Peter will be in Florida. I have to go to a Grammy event in California, but Peter is doing a Grammy event, I think, in Texas. And I'm like, hold on, what do you mean Grammy? And then he broke it down to me. Yeah. He's like, oh, there's a whole lot of Grammy events that you need to have a rep at during the year, and you need to have a presence, and you need to, and I'm like,
and there are several in Miami.
Yes.
There are several in Miami.
I'm like, okay, so the little man who don't know that,
you have to campaign.
Who has a solid project, but
the
hasn't put a budget together, you don't have a chance.
The other thing too is this, and I think changes are being made or have been made, but independent releases. I almost say independent releases that you just release a album, no affiliation to any label or output that's already affiliated with the Grammy, is not going to be able to get nominated.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So no matter how great the project is, it just ain't. And first of all,
gatekeepers,
gatekeepers, if you will. You can, one measuring stick you can look at is this, and I have to give credit where credit is due. In the last 20 odd years of being here, there are many big name artists that live here, reside here, full-time, part-time, and then you have artists on the rise, and they've all been putting in work. You know, an album that to me was a Grammy worthy, you know, it never win because of whatever, but album from Soulflow here was John FX's Vintage record last year, not the one that submitted this year.
So
the one that was prior to that.
Let's talk about John FX.
Yes.
Who has been doing work behind the scenes for years successfully. Ask me how many people every time I play a John FX tune, I'm like, yo, that little tune you're bad, you know. That little tune you're bad, you know.
Yeah, that album is amazing.
But how many people in a them regular playlists playing a John FX? Because, you know, I said this and I told this, people going vex. But we're one of the few genres that don't have a bunch of real radio people. We have a bunch of DJs that do reggae radio.
Yeah.
But people don't understand. We don't have radio.
Big
We don't
difference.
have.
Big
we don't have
difference.
a
Big
lot
difference.
of radio people.
Big difference.
So there are a lot of people playing a lot of tunes that doing nothing for the business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
True that.
And artists tend to gravitate to the ones that are screaming and keeping dance on radio. I'm not knocking that. I am saying you have to understand what the business requires.
Right.
Because radio people understand what it takes to make a tune, to break a tune.
I don't know if he's going to be on here.
Who's that?
But there's an artist by the name of Phil Watkins.
Large up, Phil.
I had one of Phil's tune in rotation for 3.5 years.
Wow.
I remember.
You remember?
I remember.
Wow.
When Phil realized it, I'm like, yo, Bridget, this I play for 2 years already.
Right.
Because I thought it was a wicked tune and it deserved to be heard.
Right.
And I play that tune, I beat out that tune there. But a lot of these guys, again, when you dropping songs on this 80-person email list, how you know who playing your tune? How you know who put in the effort for you? That's why I say I buy business.
But I don't think they care though.
They don't care, Bridget.
You know why I know. Here's why I know they don't care. I've had people, for one, artists love ask if it send them a video clip, right?
Okay, all right.
Which is effort, because if I'm recording an entire
I don't do
show,
that. Pay me.
You may record my whole tour show and I ask me to edit it and take
No.
it on the spot
Pay
and
me
YouTube
for
whatever,
it.
right?
That's promotion.
So that's promotion. That's working already.
And it takes
pay
work.
me for it. I
And it
don't
takes
care.
work. It
Vex
takes
if
work.
you want vex.
And them cameras ain't free either.
Yeah.
Right? So I had that going on. But a DJ came up to me one time, vex, because of an artist that he thinks I have a relationship with. I'm saying, why vex the artist for? Well, he sent the artist a video. Not because the artist asked him, just to connect with the song and him send the artist a video clip. Artist link him a give thanks. Artist no post it all now. But you see, when him do get a video clip from a so-called big DJ somewhere,
It
then-
all over the place.
then that gets all over the place.
Right.
Right? So it's just stuff like those that we do in our industry. We don't know about relationships. And the
Yeah.
truth is,
Yeah.
that person who did it back then, him never send it come give you. You happen to see him playing it, capture it, send it out. That artist don't care about you. Probably not play the song another time. The one that does gets no love.
Yeah. And it's true. It's true.
Here's the easiest thing them do. And I laugh every time. Even my daughter is hip to it now. When them say it, it's like she just crack up. What, Rockwell? I bet you not even play my tune.
Yeah.
I get that all the time, man.
What
every
you mean
time
is
I go.
you don't know if I'm playing the tune because you
Because
don't
you're
even
not
take time
listening
to
to the show.
listen to me show.
I've had that.
Okay?
And I had somebody that said that to me one time about a song that I was playing.
Of course.
And guess what I did?
Stop playing.
Stop playing.
There you go.
Because you weren't
There
dialed
you
into the
go.
show. The only
There
time
you
the person
go.
dialed into the show
There you
was
go.
was to ask me to play the song.
Yeah.
And multiple times they asked me to play it and it was already played.
And the assumption that the minute them jump in the chat room that you must broke your vibe, whatever, and drop their tune.
Yeah.
And if you
That
don't play it
assumption
within
is
the
there.
next 1 or 2 songs, them log off.
Yeah, man.
But that is the death warrant for the song. Me can't tell you that from now. Okay.
I'm gonna slide into something else, right? Something, because there are certain people who, when they speak, the words have weight because of who they are, expertise, credentials, right? Resume.
Yeah.
There's an article that came out. I mean, I'm going into the whole article, but rather than going into the whole article, let's take a read. The headlines, right?
Yeah.
The headline says, Penthouse Records founder Donovan Jermaine believes Chronic shouldn't have stepped back from reggae music. Speaking exclusively to whomever, the Till Shadow producer expressed that while he recognized Chronic's potential as a key figure in reggae's new generation, he felt that artist's commitment fell short. Me think Chronics have the opportunity, Jermaine explained, but Bojo Bantan works very hard. You see him there. You have to be really committed. Chronics took a break, but you can't take breaks. These are the words coming from Donovan Jermaine, the Donovan Jermaine from Penthouse Records. Marlon Burrell, did you read that art? Did you see that headline?
I absolutely did.
You
I saw
did?
the headline and I read the
And you
article.
read the article? And when you read the article, what did you think when you read the article?
My take was,
Be nice, Bridget. Be nice.
You want me to be nice or be honest?
Be honest.
I'm just saying.
Chilla, good afternoon.
The views of Marlon Burrell does not represent those of
Marlon, you got for the dark side to Marlon.
Now, before I even go there, let me say that Donovan Germain is someone I know and respect.
Right.
Okay? That being said, doesn't mean you can't disagree with somebody that you know and respect.
Yeah, exactly.
My response was, well, do you know why he took a break or what is happening, why he took a break? I mean, and when Chronix wasn't on his break, he was one of the hardest working artists out there, so he knows how to work and how much work to put in. We don't know what caused him to step back. We don't know, maybe something personal is happening or maybe he has writer's block or you know, he just don't want to go on the road or whatever is going on. We don't know. But but to say that you can't take a break, it's almost like saying that music is the only thing out there and the other aspects of your life don't matter as much, you know.
And that's what you thought when you read that article.
Yeah, like can we find out what's going on with Chronix before we make a statement like that?
But let me ask you this though. And again, this is just from me. When Chronix was out there putting out music, I think there was like maybe a 7-8 year period that he reigned supreme and was dropping. I'm not gonna lie, maybe it's there and I haven't heard it, but I haven't heard a bad Chronix song. There are some that.
Oh yes, they are.
No, I have not. Me, I've heard. Don't get me wrong. You know, there are songs that are better than others.
And I.
But I have not been saying, okay, nah, this is trash.
No. Yeah.
Now I feel like the amount of excellent work that Chronix put out in that period of time that he was doing his thing is enough to where if the man decided to sit down and take a one break, however long that break is, then he's left us with work because there are a lot of people who have had 30-year careers who haven't give us the amount of quality music that Chronix have put out, and them probably should have take a break. Right? There's many people who should have taken a break
and did not.
Yeah. And their careers have suffered for it. When I say suffer for it, them probably still did them thing. But in my eyes, after that certain album there to now, it's whack.
The standard dropped.
The standard disappeared. So you could have leave that alone, right? But the part of it that I'll ask you about now, Sir Rock, why does he owe anybody an answer? Regardless of what you just mentioned a while ago, say it could be, is it personal, is it writer's block, is it this, is it that? The truth is, why does he owe people an answer?
You had popped on my show this week, right? It was this week. But just get back in good graces with another big person in the business, and you know, I'm getting on nobody bad BS. But I have to call BS when I see BS.
Right.
I'll be very honest with you. For someone who has been as instrumental in the development of dancehall / reggae, because at the time when Donovan was involved with Buju was straddling the line of a dancehall artist plus being a reggae artist too, based on the songs that who he would be. You know, he did the DJ thing with Berris, and he did songs with Marcia, and he straddled that line almost perfectly.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, as talented as Buju is, I'm going to give the credit to Donovan and his guidance at that time.
Yeah.
So Donovan doesn't come with any kind of shaky resume or short resume. The man could almost be looked upon as a genius in the business as far as the marketing effort and the production.
Right.
I can't believe that he would say that, and I have a conspiracy theory behind it.
He got hacked.
He didn't get it. AI. Yeah. He didn't really say it. It was AI.
That was Jermaine Donovan.
We're gonna find out. Yeah, it was Jermaine Donovan and not Donovan Jermaine. You know. I almost feel, and Donovan 954-828-2247. No disrespect to Chico, but you can feel free to call me on any morning and say what I said was wrong. it comes across to me almost as disappointment on Donovan's part, almost like he was just about to start up a project with Chronics and Chronics. Chronics decided to make a hiatus.
Chronic jumping on spaceship.
Like, what do you mean you're weird? No, brethren. You know.
Damn you.
Yeah, you know, because for someone who has to understand the rigors of tour life, tour life no easy.
Ain't no pretty.
Ain't no pretty.
Ain't no pretty at all.
You understand? And I don't know, I don't really know Chronic's background, but it is somewhat of a culture shock, you know. When you go on tour, especially coming from a little island from Jamaica, and you're learning some places culturally different, language different, food different, time zone, all of that straight for 5, 6, 7 years, man. I'm telling you, it takes a, you know, you look at a lot of these R&B artists, these country artists, they have a truck running behind them with a gym, and a doctor just to keep healthy for tour life.
Yeah. Sometimes they got the family with them.
They have to take the family. So for Donovan too, even if he knew the reason why he took a hiatus,
Right.
he took a hiatus.
Right.
Yeah.
That he's entitled to.
His life.
It's basically
For that even to be a statement.
basically.
And as fickle as the reggae audience is,
Who used to beat Chronic's butt at one point too.
oh, remember when Chronix got nominated? Oh, that's not a reggae song. That's not a reggae album. That's an R&B album. That
Them used
is
to
not
beat him, but-
the Rasta deal with.
They used to beat him butt.
Now all of a sudden you miss him.
Well, that being said, Sir Rock, let me ask you this, right? Because I was explaining this to somebody a couple days ago. Reggae music, not unlike, but more than many other genres, is a traction thing.
Yeah.
When it comes to R&B, hip-hop, country, pop, you can have 10 superstars, 20 superstars at the same time. In reggae, unfortunately, an explanation has not yet been laid out why. We tend to have one superstar at all times. We'll have another star.
This one run the place, or there might be a rivalry.
There's a rival.
Which camp are you in? This one or this
But if
one?
there's a zenith, if there's a Maximus, a one artist sit on up there, right?
Yeah.
So if Sean Paul is the hottest thing, Shaggy's still hot, but he ain't as hot as Sean Paul. When Shaggy had the hottest thing, Sean Paul's still hot, but he ain't as hot. It's just no room for two.
Yeah.
No, the traction on that is this. When one artist hot, especially if it's reggae music, because reggae is a touring thing, it affords other opportunities to many other reggae artists.
How many opening acts is this festival going to take?
And on top of all of that too, people are just in the vibe and the energy for some reggae, because when you come out and say Chronic, saying that yo, Chronic's thing proper, you know,
Yeah.
and Chronic gone I'm yard, and you end up on Facebook or wherever Chronic's page, and you say he's affiliated with this girl named Leela, he's affiliated with this people in Protege, and they're coming in town too, and whatever the case may be. So the domino effect and the domino effect, and it affects even the people who are not in your camp, who do nothing similar to what you do, but they're under the name of reggae music.
Yeah.
So how many of the squealing, well, Rasta, no, I say pigs, the squealers, right?
Rasta no deal with
Rasta no deal with that, you know what I mean? Squealing vegetables, right? Are squealing because they themselves have felt the pinch and the effect financially of Chronics not being out there on the road.
Or
Didn't think about that aspect.
or creatively.
Yeah, iron sharpen iron.
Or creatively. Because I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
When Damien came out with his vibe, a lot of people were like, boy, Fair Marley, you know, Fair Marley, son, him should be a little more rootsy than this, you know. And then all of a sudden they were like, yo, this thing funky.
Yeah.
But Damien was the international vibe. The local vibe at the time was Chronics.
Yeah.
It was Chronics. And every sound, listen, I don't know how many of you noticed, but even in R&B and hip hop, once a sound come out and it hit. Everybody kind of sound like it.
Bandwagon.
Them take out a little key here, or change a key here, or a chord here, but it's basically that vibe worked for him, so we are going to ride this straight.
And you know, I'll give reggae credit for that. I think they learned that from us.
Yeah. Because there are 900 crack sizzlers.
R&B.
now.
They learned that from us. Yeah.
There's 900 sizzlers. Remember when Sizzler done the place?
Yeah.
There was like 900 sizzlers after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody
Was Kalanji.
Yeah, everybody was yeah. Yeah, all right, moving on.
and then after that, now in the Chronics era, we saw people. They wouldn't sound like him because they couldn't.
Yeah.
But you saw emulation of the vein of music that Chronics was doing.
Right.
And many others took it, ran with it, and are currently living a life and sustaining a family based on that.
Yeah.
But even the people who never have nothing to do with Chronics and inner workings and whatever the case may be, benefited
They benefit
too,
from it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I think the whole industry benefited from it.
So the industry mad right now because the man where I stimulate the bread in a spaceship.
I'm going to tell you something though. What made me pay attention to Chronics, you know, was about in 2012 when Chris Blackwell made a statement, and it was published somewhere. Chris Blackwell says that Chronics is the next
Marley
big thing in reggae. And I'm like, what? Let me listen to this guy carefully to hear what Chris Blackwell could hear that would make him say that.
Out of all the artists that have come in his lifetime that he has seen.
Because I've never heard him say that about nobody else.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. I think this whole thing literally boils down to who gives a damn.
Right.
My life. I took a little hiatus.
Simple
Some
as
people
that.
are like, yo, you can't take a hiatus. Yes, I can.
As simple as that.
And people, there's one thing that people have to say all the time. And while there's some form of truth to it, listen, it depends on who you are. Right?
Yeah.
If G. Cole takes a break and come back, you might not know who I am.
But let's hold on. You just hit a very interesting word. What if this is all planned?
And not that. May I say? So
what if the man just say, yo, you know what? I take myself off for 2 years.
Miss you.
Make them miss you. Absence make the dollar go stronger.
And when
so
they
them
come
say,
back now, I don't have to go to the National Stadium to charge 2,000 a ticket. I'm charging it everywhere.
Everywhere. And not, I mean, because I'm telling you, this guy's getting spins in non-Jamaican clubs. Lila Ike is getting spins in non-Jamaican clubs. Protege is getting spins. Damien is getting spins in non-traditional Jamaican clubs, DJs. They are in their set list.
Right.
This youth come back and decide say he's going to launch a world comeback tour starting at Jamaica. As a matter of fact, finish in Jamaica because Jamaica now support him first. Remember me tell you that.
He might forget sell out.
Him sell out all the thank you. And then come and finish up in a Jamaica and see how much man come out to the show. We are a fickle audience. Well, and I don't think nobody should have business with it.
Didn't we learn that with Bob? Isn't that what happened with Bob Marley? I mean, where was the respect in Jamaica until he hit the international market?
And that's why, to me, I anytime people come, especially artists, come to me and they start using Bob as the measuring stick.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm conscious because I don't want them to feel like I'm not a Bob fan, but don't bring up Bob Marley to me.
All right,
I just don't want it.
Let me just say this.
It's a different galaxy.
Not only that, but here's half the reason why. Half the reason why is this: you now celebrate Bob for ascend Bob, you celebrate Bob for diminish somebody else, right? Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you set him as the best.
You're comparing him to.
You're comparing him to. And the truth is, many people who said Bob are the greatest don't own a Bob Marley project, right? And for that reason, and that reason only, I in the foolishness with them. You know what I mean? But it's Chronics. Another thing where have me aware right now. People are now proclaiming Bujubantan.
Let him try finishing the sentence with a straight face.
Call him name.
Let him finish the sentence.
Bujubantan, the reggae messiah, right? The mighty reggae Jesus right about now. Empowered to go around and speak on it however, wherever, whenever, chastise, criticize, do whatever the case may be. He is it, right? He's showing you what to do, how to do it. As you know, himself speak of the time when he was away, and almost as if the music had ceased to be made,
And during that period of time, there were people like Chronics and stuff like that were carrying the flag. But when Buju came out and made his speech, it make it sound like, say, from the day the people them say, clink, clink, clang, 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 there was not another proper song made. And when I hear people talk about them as though it's the reggae messiah, again, I'm an artist. But Buju wasn't gone for free in South Africa. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that kind of a vibe.
Right.
Is it a earned? Is it an
Free in South Africa.
It wasn't no Mandela situation, right? Is it an earned space for people to put Buju where he is right now in the realm of reggae music, as he is he's the gold standard? That's what you aspire to be in reggae music right now. May I start with you, Marlon? Talk to me.
Buju is Buju.
Right?
Mm-hmm. That's who he is.
Mm-hmm. You mean from a personality standpoint?
Yeah, from an artist standpoint.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Buju has he's put his work in.
Mm-hmm.
His catalog is very strong. If Buju doesn't make another tune, Buju can tour for as long as he's able to, and he'll get work and he'll get an audience.
Right.
But I don't understand where the talk of the Messiah thing and is coming from. In terms of what? What
I see, and I've read many articles talking about Buju is the standard. Buju is it. My thing pretty much is, are they basing it? Is it just prisoner of the moment? He's the artist that's selling out these spots right now.
That's all it is.
They're conflating.
So why are we even going somewhere else?
Numbers.
That's what it is.
Numbers rule as far as they're concerned. They're really conflating, if you use the word Messiah, to attendance, and some people, that's how they measure it, you know, and that's their thing. Again, what Marlon said is correct, and I think this is what a lot of artists have to understand, is that when you get into the twilight years, the only thing that you can depend on is a solid catalog.
Right. Which he has.
And you can't take it away from him.
Right.
Okay? If you're going to have an opening act, Buju can do a 1 hour show for the rest of his life and probably work 2 or 3 completely different sets.
Every night.
There's no way Buju can do all his hits. I mean, him have to do 6 medleys, 10 medleys in it, and do 3 line out of one and just run.
Right.
I think the world has changed where, as long as you're successful, you're a god. Like you say, he didn't get locked up for free in South Africa, as you put it.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I don't even know why he went and reopened. I saw an article, I think it was today, if not yesterday, where Buju said he has never sold drugs in his life. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
He's never sold drugs in a day in his life, and I'm like, if you had a PR person, you would have never made that statement. You would have just you just leave that alone. Why would you?
You sure I wasn't Saturday Night Live?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, why would you ever even open that door right now?
Right.
Okay. You really try, like boom, bye bye, put that whole thing behind you. Just leave it alone, because it gets you in nothing but trouble. I mean,
microphones be getting
and to be where he is now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about touring in the US, and you're making a statement like that.
Those waters.
It's just like leave it alone.
Then if that article triggered you, did the Drink Champs interview trigger you?
Yeah. Well, how you know I saw that?
Because I just know my people told me you saw it.
Jeez, your father.
My people asked your people. They say
he got drawn out in that.
By us.
He got drawn out.
You mean by the host?
Nore draw him out, and he went.
He fell for it.
He fell for it. He absolutely fell for it.
He took the bait.
He sure did.
But here's the thing.
He took the bait.
I've heard many people say he took the bait. But here's what I feel. I think if it wasn't Nori, I think on that same day, if there's a camera fired up, I think he's in that space of empowerment, either by the masses or by himself, that he feels he can speak on anything.
But it's interesting, that he would kind of carry himself this way while telling people and artists to be humble. You feel humble yourself, and I'm like, hold on, Bridget. You might want to just set that to a mirror. You understand?
That's like me questioning your workout routine, right?
but some
You
kind
ain't going
of
to the gym, Marlon.
but some kind of enlightening or awakening happened with Buju in the last couple of years because
It's called prison.
No, I'm talking about since he. I'm talking about since he came up because if you're 2021, 2022, Buju was very cautious about who he allows in his space. Like, no, he was really there a couple of years ago.
Yeah, but that's what got him in trouble.
Right. But I'm just saying.
I mean, seriously.
But I'm just
the man
saying.
make a song about it.
He has taken a 360 turn now, where he is so open and freely speaking. It's such a
almost
it's such
too
a 180.
Free. Almost too.
That's what I'm saying.
There's
It's
almost
like
a level of arrogance.
Polar opposite.
Almost.
Yeah.
I don't think it's all, and I think that's where the people are coming from when they label him, because it's not just the music, you know, and you can't just judge it on the music too, because from what I've heard is he's had questions about the type of music that's released when he was away.
Mm-hmm.
But to be perfectly honest, in the last, even prior to him going away, and the last 2 albums, there's not a much of there's not a lot of weight musically on them things. I don't think those
you're
add.
being so kind.
I don't think those add to his repertoire and his catalog. It's like 2 albums.
You might pick two or three.
Hold on.
One off of one and one off of the other.
And I will go as far as to say it's the hit single and put on the album. It's not the album generating the single.
Yeah.
And guess what?
They
And
built the album
prior to
around
that, you know,
the single.
even prior to going away, the work that came up after that, man, I said there wasn't a hit here or there, but it's not like there's 6 Till Shilohs that came out.
Well, you know, I have asked many a producer this question, and they always start as if they have an immediate answer, and then you see them take a pause. I say, as a producer, would you rather have 10 really good albums or 1 mega hit?
What they say?
And immediately you can hear them say, "Oh, I take the mega." But following that mega hit is like heroin. Somebody told me it's like that first hit of heroin. You search for it for the rest of your life, and it can almost be maddening.
And you know, there are a couple of artists who come to mind
No.
who hit the ground running.
You call the name and I will whistle.
No, I'm not afraid to say it. I win.
First one.
Hit the ground
First
running.
Oh man!
And
First one.
and he can't
Could not find it again.
That again.
Could not find it. And there's another artist that you could say had 2. Kalanji had Black Woman and Child, and he had The Real Thing. And in my estimation, has been searching ever since.
But he has had a couple prior to those 2.
Soul Deep
is the last.
Soul Deep, and you and I had this
solid
conversation. Right, and that stands by itself, because I gotta give him props. That was such a different project.
I think, to me, Kalanji has.
But hold on, before you finish, how many albums does Kalanji have?
About 80.
Thank you.
But the thing is, I am
And literally,
and that's a problem.
I think he dropped. I think there was 1 year where Kalanji dropped like 5 projects in 1 year.
Yeah.
And that's the hustle of the music. That's the hustle of the music, to where people like, yo, Sam Money, I drop an album. But he has, and I can pull up the name. Kalanji to me has about, even prior to Praise Ija, Black Woman and Child, Rise to the Occasion, The Real Thing.
No, hold on. I am not talking about albums that had good songs.
No. I'm talking about classic bodies.
I'm talking bodies of work.
Classic
solid.
bodies of work.
Okay.
And that's what I mean when I say a lot of times the artist will have a solid 5, 6, 7, whatever the case may be, and then give you 10 after that diminishes the 5, 6, 7, which is why.
Well, Sizzla will give you 10 in 1 year.
Lick that button there again, please.
So true. But the thing with that though is, and you can't tell them nothing because they still have that catalog.
Yeah.
But again,
you can never take away those classic
what has
albums.
been done.
Yeah, you can.
But
you can't undo it.
But while you can't undo the albums, the merit of the whole catalog does diminish.
It does.
With each inferior body of work.
Absolutely.
It does.
Right?
It does.
It's like, and music connects a different way too. Because I tell people this all the time. If you offered me right now the catalog of Bob Marley, or give me my choice, from a financial standpoint, from a monetary standpoint, I'm going with Bob's catalog. From a sonic standpoint and feel good standpoint, I'm taking Dennis Brown's.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you right there.
And if you stole the D Brown catalog and had me upset, I'm gonna roll with the Berries, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, I love Bob, but the point I'm making pretty much is the music is on. It's in different planes and different spaces.
Yeah.
And Bob also has the luxury of we ain't given the opportunity to mess up because he wasn't here. You know what I mean? You never know if Bob and Skeng would have up on a distant relatives album. You know what I'm saying?
Don't. Perish the thought, Bridge. Perish the thought.
You never know.
No.
Man, they got creative with it. You know what I
I'm
mean?
gonna tell you, say Bob and Damien, that you say Bob and Skeng. Really, Bridge.
You never know. So what's the man want to touch on that?
No.
Listen, I digress. But the thing is, when it comes to this music, our music, reggae music, the headlines to me over the past couple of weeks, months, whatever the case may be, has been heavier than the music.
No doubt. That's
But has that
maybe
been
more so lately, but that's kind of been happening for a while.
again? We're gonna go full circle to where we started. Who's doing the music now? It's a generational change,
Right.
and with the music, you know, I've been around long enough to see the music of Jamaica come through love stories, social commentary, bad man thing. And when the bad man thing started to take on, everybody said, "Erk! Leave that in the dance all alone and bring back just good music to radio and leave that thing to just dance all." And here we are, 2025, where the bad man thing is the radio thing.
Yep.
It's no longer just so you and I, we want to play Chronics and we want to play Barry's Hammer and stuff. But there's I always laugh with my brethren that I carry and do weddings with, because having done weddings for almost 30 years now, you kind of you can feel your audience, your guests.
Right.
And I literally sometimes, after a few drinks, I said to my brethren, watch this now. Watch shoes come off. And when you start play a tune like Bike Back, and you see all those ladies in their Louis Vuittons who are really fancy, but that is their era. That is their, that's where they used to partner and kick out shoe and start the Bike Back.
Yep.
Because that's where they lived. That's their memory of good times.
You just took
We
them
have
like this.
generations
Because
now.
we have people have cutoff points where the music
I do.
start getting good.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And those very same people, you know, they might only pick out 2 Chronic songs that they like, you know, because I like Chronics, I like this and I like that, but you carry them back to Frankie Paul and you carry them broke out.
Yeah.
Well, I
Okay.
guess I'm not the only one then who looks at it like I love all reggae music, but I love eras of dancehall.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I would never say to somebody I am a avid dancehall fan.
No.
Right.
No, I'm a fan of.
And this is why
Eras.
this is why we have to say which dancehall are we talking about?
Right.
Because I understood exactly what you
You
meant.
understand
when
me? I
said
say,
that.
you know what I mean? Are we talking 80s dancehall, 90s dancehall? Are we talking 2025? Because I'll be honest with you, even if I like the rhythm of some of them songs, I have to play it 2 and 3 times to even know what the heck they said.
Yeah.
It's almost like another language.
Yeah.
They've gone close to this mumble rap and now it's mumble dancehall DJ. You understand? So I am not one to judge because it's just not for me.
Let me, and I'm slide back around Grammyville, right? There are certain people who I always root for. It's not a matter of whether you think they're gonna win or not. It's like rooting for the home team, right?
Yeah.
And I root for Romaine. You know, many people love Romaine or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And they were saying, well, damn, Romaine never made it in. I would have loved to see him, but I tell people this: the 5 that I saw in there, excepting for the Vibes Cartel, which I was unfamiliar with until very recently, I had no disappointments. It wasn't one of those years when we look on it and I said, damn it, this is trash, right?
You know, I picked 4 out of the 5.
That was gonna be there.
Yeah.
I picked.
Did
3.
you really?
Yeah.
Including the Shensia?
Yeah.
I picked the Shenseea just based on the optics that's been going on.
But I want to tell you,
and that's what I based my pick on. Not that I like the album that much.
So let's talk about the Shenseea thing a while.
She fine too.
Brilliant marketing on her part.
And that's what made me think she would get in there.
Brilliant marketing on her part.
That's what convinced
This is
me
a
that she would
team
be in
that
there.
understands that it's not just about the music anymore. Because we're coming from a time where music was tied solely to audio, to radio.
Yeah.
Now music is visual. Music is what you drink, what bottle of liquor in the video, what car in a video, what kind of clothes you're wearing in the video. There are so many nuances to music now that I think they have realized. What do you hear what Shenseea said? She said it for a reason. I think that is probably one of the most calculated marketing plans coming out of Jamaica for a long time.
And the thing is, there's a lot of people who have their gripe with Shenseea, but the truth is, Shenseea is the gender equivalent to what Sean Paul was back then, right? Mm-hmm. The market,
a little more risky.
Well, she's a woman, he's a man. But what I mean pretty much is this.
But Sean Paul could not have made it with the content.
True.
On mainstream that Shenseea is able to make it because she's a woman.
Because she's a woman. So the same thing when people say, boy, you get a beating for being a woman, you also get some...
Yes.
Yeah, they're perks.
Because for her, it's, super sexy.
Yeah.
That's how she marketed it.
Some say whatever.
If it was a guy who is a pig, did you hear what he said? So she has capitalized it and she has ridden that fine
That's
line.
a double standard and we have to live with it.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it. And that's the reason why when people talk about the double standards and what the men benefit from, I'm just like, trust me, Shenseea ain't complaining.
Right.
But I don't, and there is no man out there that look like Shenseea, so she win.
I'm just saying. That's
but think about why slackness has ruled dancehall for years. Who you think are the biggest consumers of so-called slack music? It ain't the men. It ain't the men.
But that's what I'm saying. When Brockout time come at the wedding, the guys are like, I can't believe my wife is doing this in public. Brockout! I'm like, lady, that dress is way too short for you to be better go like that, lady. They're kids here, lady. Yeah, they lose their minds.
It is, and guess what? Kudos to the DJ who can take them back there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're taking the person back to when they were a size 12 or a size 11 and a lot younger and everything was erect and stuff, and they forget that it's not the same, but the memory. Anyways, I digress.
We go zoom past that.
We just left.
So, Marlon is looking like,
The question is, can they get out of bed in the morning?
God.
Can they get out of the car when they get home?
Tiger bomb. But let me ask you this, because this is something that I have noticed and I will continue to say. The powers that be that recognize reggae music, recognize reggae for what it is. Mm-hmm. And now because we've slid dancehall into the narrative of what reggae is just based on being under the umbrella, right?
Yeah.
Do you realize that a Lovers Rock album has never won a Grammy and never will?
I did notice that. I noticed that a long time ago.
And I was telling somebody, they were asking, so why such and such? And I was like, it ain't gonna happen because we are the ones who recognize Lovers Rock and Rocksteady and all that stuff. The powers that be in the world.
Why are you being so politically correct? Berry's Hammer never win a Grammy yet. That's what I mean.
But just Berry's.
No, but what I'm saying is,
Marcia Griffiths have never been nominated for a Grammy.
So
but Marcia could be considered more reggae than Berry's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would say
you would think even by affiliation that Marcia would have get her props once, just with the Bob connection that you like let's and it would be, you see, we have to, I think one of the things that we have not discussed is why do we put this importance on the Grammy in the first place?
Why?
Because no reggae artists care about a Grammy, about the Grammy situation until they have an album that can be considered for the Grammy. Yeah. Everybody will say Bonfire for Grammy.
And even the one that burn it out.
Yeah.
Because I've seen so many artists who have burn a fire up on the Grammy over the last 2 years or 3 years.
Especially this year. I mean, I saw some artists, I'm like, what? Yeah. But you and I spoke, you say, business with Grammy.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you say...
No, but the whole industry a large percentage of the industry says that until this time of year, then the cussing starts. It's the annual.
But I think what a lot of these artists recognize is that the Grammy is almost a ticket to Europe
and North America.
Yeah, but the money is not. You see,
but here's the thing, and this is one thing that we have to realize. Even though,
but that's the value
Europe
for
is the
artists.
concrete market and the UK, right? Just based on volume and size, people are putting more effort in trying to conquer the North American market than they are Europe.
But but with
just like Bob did.
Exactly.
That's what Bob was trying to do.
Yeah.
But again, not understanding the economics of the business. Again, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to Gramps. Talk with Gramps. Gramps said, "Yo, Rockwell, so we sell just almost as much in merch in Europe that we do to get paid for the show."
True that.
So you see, in North America, they buy a ticket and them come in and them see the show.
Right.
In Europe, they might buy hat, belt, T-shirt on top of it.
Right.
No,
so the money.
A couple of years ago, I met up with a veteran artist. Most Jamaicans probably never heard of him. He's just coming back from Europe, and I gave him a ride somewhere, and he said, "Boy, I'm just come from tour. I just 2 records may have left," and he gave me 2 vinyls. I said, "That's all that's left. Sell everything."
Sell everything.
But at the end of the day, I've experienced that too, to where I've gotten a lot more money from the merch than I've ever gotten paid to come to the venue. Right, 3, 4, 5 times the amount of money is Robs and Kush get paid in merch money than we got to come through the door.
That means you made what, about $150 in merch?
I'm just saying. Put my business in the street.
We know.
Kind
of don't pay reggae artists of Florida. Yeah, you know what I mean?
And that's the thing, when we go up on the road,
that's what I'm
tours
saying.
And stuff like that, they look at North America and up the coast of Florida, whatever the case
That's
may be.
what I'm saying,
the amount
bro.
of money we made off of merch.
And the complexion got lighter.
Yeah.
But let me tell you this. Let you touch on that.
Well, it's got looser.
Internet radio has taught me something, and thanks to Sir Rockwell and Clinton Lindsay for dragging me into internet radio.
Right.
But internet radio has taught me that our music is so out there in terms of people liking it that are not us.
Yes.
Because I started doing radio in New York, terrestrial radio. Left New York after just a few months in. I was in Pennsylvania for 4 years. I got another radio station over there in Allentown, Pennsylvania. I was there for like 4 years. And when I got there, I was like, okay, there's a nice growing West Indian market here. So let me do a little thing. They were not my audience. They were not my audience. And
explain to them what they were looking for. Explain why they weren't your audience, so the people can.
They were not my audience because there were a lot of people who were vaguely familiar with reggae, but when they heard a 2-hour show, and I played a mixture of current reggae, we're talking 2003, 2004, 2005, I was playing a mixture of current reggae and some classics. And they may have heard of Bob Marley, they might have heard of Toots.
But the new people, them.
Yeah.
Because you are getting the source from who was down here as well.
Yes.
You are getting, we were getting current stuff.
Yes.
Okay?
And them no that.
And not as a matter of fact, they will tell you, say, boy, we really know that, just give us some Alton Ellis and
the same old
Bro.
saying.
Yeah.
Same old saying.
I would be at the radio station for more than a half hour after my show, taking phone calls from people. What's the name of this artist? And
never heard of them.
I mean,
and it wasn't us calling in.
No. And I'm telling you,
there is
some
someone.
record labels really owe me some kickbacks. Like,
hold on. There's somebody on your feed right now.
I sold a lot of records. 2003, 4, 5, 6.
I see a comment, and I see, and it's not just this comment, it's tons of comments similar to it that I always see and get. The whole concept of, why are we concerned about, we need to have our own thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And that was in the comment earlier also.
But it's not something I subscribe to. And the reason why I don't subscribe to it is because I know that it's not going to be supported, it's not going to go away.
Well, because that's what has happened.
When we trying to have our own awards and saying, we don't need the Grammy. The truth is,
all right,
it has happened.
Let me
so we know.
Let me touch on that.
Mm-hmm.
Because me have to defend who need to defend.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lady by the name of Winsome Lady C. Charlton.
Mm-hmm.
For years, Lady C struggled with the Reggae Soca Music Awards here in South Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know whether they were spoilt by American Music Awards or the Country Western Music Awards or what. Lady C would spend months, and I even talk the amount of money, and confirm artists, because to get a crowd, you need a crowd to get the sponsorship. You need sponsors to believe that people are interested in this event for them to come on board. And she'd get confirmations from artists, and she'd get confirmations from managers. And day of show come, quarter that. Oh, we got booked to go to so and so. We got booked, or last minute, 1 week before. Oh, we are going to need $5,000 for us to come, or we're going to need 5 additional rooms. But it's just you were asking. Yeah, but I need to travel with my flagman, my baba, me this, that, and the other. Till it was financially impossible
to
do.
But yet still they'll pay to go to the Grammys.
No. They will go to Grooving on the Park and work for free.
Best of the best.
They will go for the white radio stations and appear there and do their show for free. Mm-hmm. And they're the friend of the mayor and everybody's cool. But when we trying to do something, them pressure away to the max. I am not asking.
Right.
I have watched this year after year after year. You confirm, and then a week before you want money, or you need 5 additional rooms, or you need all kind of ass dead cow fat. These people don't respect it enough. This is why I'm not sorry for them. Go run the Grammy, because many have tried. Tony Anthony just launched an award show up in Canada. I pray that it can last, because if they even vaguely suspect that you might have 2 penny in your pocket, they're going to want to take it. They're not going to help you build it.
But I asked Clinton Lindsay what happened to the Tamika Awards that ran for like 12 years.
Exactly.
That's why that happened. It's the same kind of dynamics that Sir Rockwell is describing.
We don't support it.
But here's
everybody, and before you go, you'll hear these artists talk about, we need to have our own. We'll forget the Grammy away. But when people try to do that, you pressure them.
Supporting it.
You pressure them.
And I think a lot of the more successful artists right now are bold enough to now explicitly state up front, they're not really business with that.
Yeah.
And the truth is, if you give a man a Tamika Award and a Jammy and a Grammy, and he got one shelf, the Grammy is going up on the shelf.
Absolutely.
And the rest going in the back.
No doubt about that.
Right? So while it is cool to say, it's no different from when people say unite. There's certain words that I just have a gripe with, right?
Yeah.
There's not that we can't. Unity is great. But if the 3 of us unite, because them always said, black people come together, reggae people come together. You come with your 10 mil, you come with your 3 mil, and me come with my 500,000. Do we all have the same say? No. Right?
Did you say I had 10 mil?
Yeah. So then that's what I heard. That's the word on the street.
Well, you better show up for work and
That's the word.
be there before me, bro.
That's the word on the street. So it's kind of like when we talk about unity, everybody's not coming with the same resources because everybody does not have the same resources.
And I've seen that happen.
Right?
I've seen things not work for that very reason.
For that reason. And then what's going to happen pretty much is I, with the $500,000, have a valid output. I have a sight, I have a vision of what's going to happen here. So Rockwell upon that, 10 million P.
That's right.
You understand? He got the bread.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
It can't work. So when people talk about, sometimes it's best for the one guy to figure out how he's going to do it on his own.
Yeah.
With your sponsorships
But
or with your investors or with your whatever.
But aren't we there in a general sense with reggae radio? Aren't we there now? I mean, you think about it. Mm-hmm. All right. I had a conversation with a gentleman that owned a few non-Caribbean stations, FM stations here. Mm-hmm. And I was emceeing an event, and he was there, and I happened to sit at the table, and I had to get my 2 cents in, wherever. I'm like, so, have you ever heard of Barry Salmon? He goes, of course I know Barry Salmon. Da-da-da-da-da. I said, have you ever heard of Frankie Beverly? He goes, yeah, of course I know Frankie Beverly. I said, I kind of feel I a similar vibe. Because, now that you said that, you're right. I said, so how come Berries don't get played on your thing? He goes, let me tell you something, Rockwell. I've been living in South Florida for 60 years. He says, when your radio stations, when your reggae stations can agree on a number one,
Damn.
I was like, damn. Stop me in my tracks,
Yes,
brethren.
what do you say after that?
Stop me in my tracks. He says, Rockwell, when your stations can come together and get on basically a unanimous top 10 so that we know the artists that are really making an impact in your community. He says every station listen to it's a different.
They got another.
There's no.
Casey.
I know they like Berries, but will everybody listen to Berries if I put it in rotation, or is it another artist that? And we're an American station. We don't need to be bothered with that.
You got 10 million. You could break anything.
That's right.
I'm just
right.
I'm just saying.
Want to carry this? Want to see where it disconnect.
So you can do whatever you want. You 10 million.
But you see, we are not. We don't have that.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't have that. I asked a popular radio person. I said, "Hey, I'm going to send you a song. Do me a favor, see what you can do with it." Immediately, WhatsApp it to him. He goes, "Yo, this song bad." He goes, "Who is this? It's a new artist?" I said, "Yeah, they've been around for about 23 years."
Fairly new.
Fairly
new.
Everybody, and I mean, I'm not knocking favorites. Everybody have them favorites.
Yeah.
But there is no radio unity. There is no central distribution for reggae.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We have entities.
Yeah.
We
But
have labels that don't even support reggae radio.
Is that necessary? Should we have a central entity? Because let me ask you a question. If we did have that, you know what they'd be considered?
How you think tell
Gatekeeper.
Yeah.
No. So hold on a second.
They would be.
Let's talk about the nuances.
The industry
How is Taylor Swift number one on every pop station?
No, I understand exactly what you're saying. I'm not denying that.
Okay.
What I'm saying
Okay.
is, a lot of times we always complain about the entity while ignoring the compliance of the audience.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's the populace that is the problem. It's not just the entities and the investments and the this and the that. Because at the end of the day, those people who are so-called reggae lovers who really are not want to have as much say or more say than anybody else. Because truthfully speaking, if we had one entity, the artists and the listeners would say a gatekeeper.
No, what I mean by one
And
entity.
bias.
And that's true.
Yeah,
That is true.
you're right to a point. But what I'm saying is that there is no central distribution. So listen. You know how many times when Chronics first came out and we are rinse out Chronics, man, I called me and say, "Yo, you live down the road from me, Me did think so. Me did have every Chronics tune."
Right.
A radio man in Boston will call me, but with Rockwell, I thought I had all of the Chronics tune them. I listened to Jam in Baltimore, like, yo, where you get a Chronics tune from?
I remember when that was going on.
You know what I mean? It's like,
I remember when that
so if you don't recognize those in the business, and I'm not saying I know you can't do it ever, but honestly, I am not trying to be egotistical or stuff. But when I look on some of the lists, the email lists, and I'm like, who is DJ Woo Woo? You know what I mean? It's like, if and again, you are not putting any effort into the marketing. You're not finding out. I talk to a lot of these artists, these established artists. I go back to Morgan Heritage because I'm telling you, if a lot of artists understood the mechanism behind Morgan Heritage.
I'm telling you, they are the university.
Okay.
They are the university. Music business.
The business side of the business.
I met Gramps. I was promoting an album and I met Gramps some years ago at a radio station. And at the end, we just happened to be in the same interview. And before I leave that interview, I said, Gramps, you doing this? It's Morgan Heritage. We look up to what you do. Any words of wisdom? What advice can you give me if it try and make a move? And I'm expecting it to be something musical or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The man said, I heard the music played, right? Sound good. So I can't tell you how to sing, right? Can't tell you if it whatever the case may be. But go get this book called This
Business
Business of Present Music by Donald Clark. Right?
There you go.
And
There you go.
the book is right here, right now.
There you go.
Right? And I'm saying that piece of advice to me was profound.
Yes, sir.
Because that's not what I was expecting. And I'll tell you this, take Gramps out of the picture and go to 100 other artists, they would not tell you that.
No.
They probably don't know about that book.
There you go.
Any
And
version of it.
And you know, speaking of that, you know the one person I remember telling me that book changed their life.
It's in an interview.
with In Crowd.
Yeah.
And he was like, that changed my life. He says he doesn't even remember who gave him the book. But
Yeah.
Steely.
Clevie.
Clevie.
But it
Yeah.
changed his life.
Wow. And that's the thing is that when it comes to knowledge, we have we have a culture where we resent knowledge to some degree, you know. Right?
Yeah, because we are born with it.
Of course, we're born with all this thing.
Yeah,
Innate.
especially when you talk about something like reggae music.
I feel we think this, man.
My uncle,
It's in the
my
veins.
uncle, he used to
Yeah.
play a fade. He used to carry box
course.
for the scatterlights, you know. So me know everything about music. I was born with it. There's an assumption.
Bob, granny, uncle, nephew, niece, sister, brother, wife, daughter, friend, cook, mechanic, live right next to him, and him know
Let me tell you
everything.
this. Let me tell you. I made a vow, and this is why I say a lot of people. My circle is going to be extremely small come 2025, because I've had people come to me and say, I need help with this. And I say, all right. And there's certain people that keep telling me, stop giving information for free. You're called a music consultant. Stop.
Yep.
You know how many times I've been told that?
I've been told that on a
Okay.
daily.
And I say, okay, here's what you need to do. And a year later, them come to me and say, I need help with this. And I say, okay, I can do this, you know. And when I go and contact who I need to contact, and they say, okay, send me this, send me that, send me that. And I reach out to them and say, okay, send me all the things I told you to do in the last year, send that to this person. Like, we haven't done that yet. I'm like, okay. Okay.
Yep.
You understand? They want to do it their way, but get the success of someone else. You man, see there?
Somebody asked me, what a book name? Jennifer said, what a book name? And I'm not promoting for these folks, and that's the reason why.
No. Everyone should read that book.
But everybody should read the book.
Everyone should
It's
read that
called
book.
All You Need to Know About the Music Business. Miss Farmer and Gramps make sure said I had to have this book. It looks like this. And guess what? There's an updated version also. So this is not the latest version, but all you need to know about the music business. See there. Just for Gramps shared it with me, so I shared it.
And legitimately, and I've heard somebody say, well, you know, that is for American music. Read the book. Read the book.
It's well, I mean, we could wrap it in black, green, and gold.
Yeah. Read the book, because, you know, I'm involved. I sit on the board and I'm involved with a number of businesses. And some of them I've never been directly involved with. But in my early years in America, I got introduced to a gentleman when I was real young. I worked for an airline called TWA. And there was a gentleman that was brought on board to run it. His name was Carl Icahn. And over the last maybe 30 years, I have seen his name pop up on at least 10 different companies in 10 different industries. And I said, hold on. This brother can't be so. Him can't know about airlines and then hospitals. I'm like, so I decided to read the book on Carl Icahn, and I suggest that anyone interested. And basically what he says, there are core elements to business.
Yeah.
Every business have the core elements.
No matter what you're selling.
No matter what you're selling.
Crack, cars, or houses.
And then you can branch off, and then the nuance of whether it's a hospital or a restaurant or this, but they're just
certain principles
they're
apply.
Right. And if you don't have those in place,
You can
period.
forget about it.
And that's why he was able to jump from industry, because they didn't want him to fix the airplane.
Right.
They wanted him to fix the airplane business.
Yeah. And that's where we fall short a lot of
There
times.
you go.
With this whole
Yeah.
unilateral approach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
to everything.
Yeah.
You know, but ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you so much for rocking with us.
I'm looking and saying, wait a minute, it's a 10 o'clock show.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much we can cover and should cover and have not covered. But again, we're gonna slide back to because it's a season, right? To be jolly, right? So it's the Wailers, it's Shensia, it's Cartel, it's the One Love Project,
And
Calibut. I've seen so many changes occur in the last, let's say, 4 to 5 years. I've seen them going from not allowing EPs to now allowing EPs, which I know the reason for that. I mean, if the best music coming out of our period of time is EPs, then and you are celebrating and awarding the best music, you got to figure out how to get it in there.
Yeah.
There are times when they wouldn't do compilations.
Yeah.
They now do, you know.
There are times they wouldn't do EPs.
There's a time. That's what I'm saying. EPs was totally out.
I know almost everybody, every year there's at least 2-3
But that
EPs
was because you had her and you had a couple of different R&B artists who were putting out EPs. And those are the best music for the year.
Yeah.
But they were EPs, so they had to get in on it, right?
Yeah.
Now they're allowing stuff. And I'm like, I kind of don't like when people X out stuff because it feels like, okay, well, damn, one more thing for me to not qualify for. When at the end of the day, if this Grammy is worth anything, if you're up on a compilation, then it's likely for 15 people to now become Grammy Award winners.
Yeah.
In adverse to just the 2.
Right.
Which should have been you and the producer.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So for me, that's why I'm welcoming the changes.
Yeah.
And the improvement and the evolution.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're sitting and we're complaining about everything. In this project, in this Grammy nominations, the 5. Marlon, who's your horse in the race?
My horse in this race right now, this is one of the toughest ones,
Right.
over the years.
Is it because it's 5 great projects?
No.
Oh, okay, my bad. Oh, all right, go ahead.
I mean, I like to go on as much merit as possible, and not because of the name, but I would go with the Wailers.
The Wailers?
Yeah,
Did you listen to it?
yeah.
How you feel about it?
I was playing it before even the nominations came out. I mean, it's solid.
Love it?
It's solid, but I think Calibut is, just musically speaking, is the best album out of the lot. Period.
Right. But Calibut's, but your horse in the race is the Wailers.
Well, I say I think they're gonna win.
Oh, you think they're gonna win? Okay. So and you know what? I'm glad you said that. Because I tell people this all the time. Anytime the Grammy conversation comes up, if we're honest with ourselves, it's 2 questions we're asking them. Who you think are going to win or who you want for win?
Who
Yeah,
you want
there
to.
you go.
Right?
There you go.
And 9 times out of 10, you're not one of
Which is really unfair.
Right.
Which is really unfair.
Right.
But it is what it is. And you know, we have to throw in the fact that we can't dismiss the fact that, boy, there is yet to be a family that has been able to peel out the number of genuine musicians, not just writing off of a name. Julian, the reason that I was happy for Julian, I'm a brethren, big up Jamie Hinkson, who is
Larger.
another one that is, listen to me, 2025 for Jamie Hinkson is going to be ridiculous.
Yep.
That boy is paving his own path right
I love
now.
what Jamie does.
Trust me.
I love it.
Okay, so big up to Jamie Hinkson. But the growth that Julian has shown in the last 8 years, for me, has been phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, don't be vexed with me, Julian, but he was an average to slightly above average performer to now a stalwart performer now and putting out solid things. So I was happy for him as a Marley, but I was happy for him as an artist that is getting rewarded for his growth and what he has put in. So big
By the
up
way,
to him.
his album is in this year again, you know, right?
Yeah, the remix.
Best remixes.
Best,
with the remix.
So it's not in as a reggae
It's not in the
category.
reggae category.
Yeah.
Not in the
Best
reggae
remixes.
category.
Yep.
But for the very same reason, I have to go with Calibut. That,
Yeah.
you know, it's, I think, a little unfortunate because we have prayed and lauded reggae music going around the world, but yet when a non-Jamaican involved, we start burn the fire.
And nobody likes to
understand?
go around the world and put their flag in the ground like us.
You know what I'm
We want to
saying?
put our flag in the ground, but don't come put your flag in my thing.
And
You can take jerk chicken, but not this reggae music.
not the reggae music.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's cool to do it in the town square, but don't come upon when our award show about you are contending. Cali Buds has put in the work. Cali Buds has been flying the reggae flag solidly in non-reggae communities, and that's why I really give him props, because he has introduced non-island people to solid reggae, not watered down
Not beach reggae.
Yeah, not beach
Not beach
reggae.
reggae.
Solid roots reggae. And if we are gonna call names, the addition of our brethren J5 in that now, you know what I'm saying?
That's that sound you get. That's a sound you get right there.
We have to just go with that. And for that reason, for having a solid project and being rewarded for the work that you have put in, my horse is Cali Buds.
And here's the funny thing. Just like how we talk about the people who have done it well and have not been rewarded, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about how long Cali Buds are doing it too.
That's what I'm saying.
On a high level.
This is what I'm saying.
On a high level.
And and a lot of us, because we don't go to his shows, and his shows aren't in our, we're not in Clearwater, and but the exposure that he has given reggae music to non-reggae centric audience.
Yeah.
Boy, let me tell you something, man. This is what the Grammy should be. It should be, okay, here is someone that is putting out solid music and influencing, not just a fluke project that has come out this year. A man in being in the business 20 years, get a Grammy, and then you don't hear from him again. Cali Buds has been solidly putting in the work, and I think he deserves he deserves it this year.
I think he should get it. Unfortunately, I think he's the darkest horse in the race.
Yes.
In terms of dark horses.
For the very same reason that I mentioned.
Here's the thing, Cali. I'm gonna say this to Cali Buds. This is one of the few times when being white ain't helping you, my brother.
It's true. It's sad but true.
I'm just saying.
Sad but true.
Because they don't want to piss off nobody. But the thing is this. I'm rooting for Cali.
Which is crazy because no disrespect to the other white reggae bands that have gotten it. But if you compare Cali Buds' work to that, boy, you get a raw deal.
It's a different animal.
You know what I'm saying? It's a raw deal.
Cali creates the music that we consider reggae.
Yeah.
They other people create the music that they consider reggae. But I'm not mad at
There
none
you
of
go.
it,
There you go.
But Cali, put it this way, Cali Buds is one of the non-Jamaican artists that I played just as much, and not just now, but from before Jay was with him, that I played just as much as my Jamaican artist.
But here's the nice thing. Here's what I find interesting. MCing the shows that I MC. Cali Buds has at least 4 songs that are solidly in major reggae bands playlists, like Jamaican bass bands playlists.
Yeah.
You know what and when them draw the tune, the crowd get a ray off it too. You understand me?
Yeah.
So it is one thing to be successful in that area, but when homegrown reggae bands start to take your songs to put in a film set, you have to understand that you have arrived. Whether anybody else wants to say it or not, you have arrived. And I for that reason, I think this is it. But the unfortunate thing, when you have 75 to 110 albums submitted, you really don't know who your competition is going to be until it's there. Because if I were managing artists, let me see who dropping an album before we go in this year. Maybe we want to wait till next year because so and so and so and so. But you don't know
Right.
until you submit and just hope for the best. That's kind of how it works.
Yeah.
And you have people who would not have submitted before who are now. And I think I'm going to do a show on kind of like educating the masses on how, bringing some people in, because the truth is, again, if I just decide to drop an album next year, which I am, it doesn't mean say it'll go qualify because it doesn't have the affiliation. So now I have to make calculated decisions. That's
right.
Who's going to release this project for me? Am I just going to release it on my label? Am I releasing it otherwise? Am I, I have to take a calculated approach, which is kind of white in a drop yet, right?
Yeah.
But the truth is, when you talk about that whole, that 5 that's standing up there right now, I could also see the One Love Project taking it home.
Yeah, I can
Oh,
see
of course.
that. I can see that.
You know?
I mean, that is that is everyone's, I guess, front runner as far as what the Grammy Association is going to look at. Everyone feels like they are running against that project.
Yeah, especially with the film being out this year. And, and
especially with the film being as successful as it has been. You know, out is one thing, being as successful as it is. Because remember, you know, we didn't make One Love popular. It wasn't Jamaican something. We turned out. But it literally crossed lines.
Yeah.
Black Americans, white people, everybody. So the exposure to that is...
In fact, we were trying to hold it back.
Yeah, well.
I'm sorry for clarification. Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah, don't say we. Don't say no French round here. No French round here.
Because, and when you think about it, you know.
Okay, everybody did burn a fire upon it initially. That's
a lot of people.
That's not a real Rasta man.
Which I had... Because I saw the logic as to why things were what they were. I mean,
I didn't.
Conversation. I know. I remember having a conversation with other.
I was one of those people.
I didn't.
I was one of those people that was like, Lord, I hope it's not another Tate Diggs trying to.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
I was one of those people.
I didn't because I thought that, you know, in my high school years I was involved with drama and stuff, and I was tired of seeing Jamaicans come to either UK or the Europe and America and get solid roles in American parts, but we couldn't find a Jamaican to do a Jamaican story.
Yeah, that's where I was at.
That's where my beef was.
I understood that viewpoint of it, my thing pretty much was, this is Bob, and I need to see Bob on the big screen everywhere. And even if we found the most talented person in Jamaica, it would never have been the big screen everywhere.
You looked at it from a logical business standpoint, which typically would be my way of looking at it. But I got very sentimental. I figured, we were only going to get one shot at this Bob story.
Right.
And there we could have found, and I mean, ultimately I agree with the decision. Ultimately, their decision proved to be right.
Yeah.
But emotions took over initially. I'm not going to lie. I was like, you can find a Rasta man that can speak and give him a spot and let him do Bob.
And that's and that's how passionate we are about our
If
radio.
it weren't even, I mean, I think most of us said that there has to be one Marley grandson or son that could play his role. I think a lot of us looked at it and there's Skip, there's Damien, there's Maestro. You know, there were so many people that, especially with I keep calling him Maestro. Kimani acting already. You know, people just assume.
But physically, he was casting
But emotionally, right? I'm saying emotionally, everybody says, listen, there's 1,700 Marleys that you could have choose from. Well, you can't find one for this. But from a business standpoint, I totally get it.
And not only that, I think it was, if I was that Marley that you came to, I would have turned it down. Because if it never succeeds, you'd have put it on my shoulders and saying they ain't good enough, it should go with the other brother. So I just think that everything went the way it was supposed to go. We are the most critical
ye of folks. Little faith, you know what I mean?
We're the most critical people, and here's the other
we are.
And we are. Everybody got so personal and up in arms about who was playing Bob Marley, right? And I'm talking about elders coming all the way down. The same people who weren't supporting Bob from morning.
Yeah.
No, have apostrophized is what I'm gonna say. The ownership back up on it. No. Bob, are we G, are we God, are we this and that? So make sure you do it well. Still can't become a national hero in that country.
Right.
Still can't be the most popular person ever come out of the Jamaican for nothing negative, right? Because there's no politician, there's no prime minister, there's no person that has done more for Jamaica than Bob Marley has.
But gunman get OD. Anyhow,
no.
Volume up. Let's go. On the count of three.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have to go. We have to go do it another day. But I will say, first of all, thank y'all, gentlemen, both for passing through. Can't hold them reason here with every and anybody. Jano, Calibud's my horse in the race. I think there's a strong possibility of One Love taking it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. I think out of the 5 albums, there's only one that could possibly win. That's gonna make me say, man. I mean, I'd still. It is what it is. But there could only be one winner. That would make me say, I don't know what y'all doing, bro. I digress. But the thing
no. Finish it.
That's only one.
No. Calling you.
If the Cartel album win, I'm gonna be like, damn, I can't believe that.
With the competition.
I would believe it. simply because
You're
of
on drugs, Marlon.
no, simply because of what
The popularity and what's going
yeah,
on right
No.
now.
and the fact that he's featured in mainstream media.
Not
and
in the-
and
I'm not saying I
story.
would.
Not in the
I'm
Grammy
I'm
committee.
I'm not saying I would say.
Not in the Grammy
I
community.
can't say how it happened. I would be like.
Not in the Grammy.
It would be a letdown to me. I'm gonna be
Not
honest with you.
in the Grammy community. Not in the voting committee.
No,
community.
no,
That
the,
not happening.
The thing with the One Love, even though it's not the soundtrack and it's not Bob singing, the reason why I wouldn't have a problem with it is because Bob would get a Grammy as a writer, because he's the writer of all the songs on there, right? So he'd get a Grammy and probably a real trophy too. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't be mad at it. But when it comes to, I love the Kali album. I enjoyed the One Love album, and then everything thereafter was just music. To me, I didn't love none of the rest of them.
And you know what? To be honest, I don't love the One Love project. It's okay as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
It's a twist.
I like that's what
Yeah,
that's what
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I
Twist.
enjoy.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
don't love
It's
it.
a twist.
Enjoy it because
It's
it
a
is
twist.
something totally different.
Yeah.
That's not whack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For what they did with
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
it's normally going to be either a nice listen like we
But the
or
question
terrible.
is, are those reggae songs?
Some of them are.
And you see, there's this 60%. What is it, Marlon? 60%?
Yeah.
Sonically they are. Sonically they are. I think it's more so that the artist didn't sing it in the vein of whatever.
And that's what I that what you see.
But the instrumentation matter, you know.
Yeah, it's right. So it would be interesting to see really how this pans out, because the very same argument that you're giving the One Love is the criticism. We're going full circle to what Chronix got when he dropped his album. This is not a reggae album. And there was that 60% or sonically it's this, or the argument why it's in. And I think a lot of people are confused as to what really
What qualifies
what is
as
reggae,
reggae?
as far as
What qualifies?
as far as the Grammys go, because there's a little bit of everything in this. There's dancehall. So obviously the voting committee, they themselves have a different outlook on what definition of reggae is, because to us there are two dancehall projects in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here's it's funny though, you mentioned even that year that Soulja won, right? Funny enough, it's 60% of the project has to be at least in the genre, right?
Yeah.
Sonically.
Yeah.
The year that Soulja won, if you really pay attention to it, they were the most reggae album out of the bunch. Go back and listen to the whole of them. Sonically speaking, they were the ones where everything was reggae.
But Soulja is a roots reggae band, you know.
That's my point. But people
But
were
it's
mad
just the
because they were-
complexion.
Exactly. So even when it came to Chronix getting scrutinized and criticized, Chronix was Jamaican and looked like us. So guess what?
Yeah,
We're good.
Yeah.
And honestly speaking,
But again, there's a double standard and the hypocrisy that we're used to. So
yeah.
It would be interesting to hear a group of Grammy voters describe what they consider to be reggae music. Because I'm going to say that it's hard to hold this category to what we think reggae is when there are so many different minds in the voting committee. There are black people, they're doing reggae. There are black people, there are white people, there are Asian people, there are people of all persuasion, and also musical likes.
yeah.
And I'm going to say that regardless if you're sitting on this committee, you're going to lean more to things that you vibe with. It's hard to just say,
Yeah.
you know, if I
That's true. That's
if I listen to a Chronix and I listen to a Soulja, if you're going to say straight up reggae, you're going to say, I'm going to say Soulja.
Yeah.
Regardless of complexion or where them come from,
It's straight reggae.
It's straight reggae. I'm not knocking the Chronix project. It's cool and it's what they consider. But when you have so many people of so many different likes, because there's no definition clear. Reggae, they don't say it needs to be this, it needs to be one drop or whatever. We're looking at a vote of five albums, two of which the mainstream Jamaicans would consider one. They're both considered. You've never heard Cartel considered a reggae artist. He considered himself a dancer. Everybody in Jamaica said,
So he
he's
has
a- he's a
released
dancer.
some amazing reggae music.
Who?
Believe it or not.
Who?
Cartel. Let me tell you something. I don't, by no means do I consider myself a Cartel fan, right? By that I mean I can identify maybe 5-6 Cartel songs that I like. I can't name them more. But I'm tell you something. Cartel have a reggae project. It just didn't get any attention.
Well, you see, no, you see
Right?
what I'm saying now.
Cartel did a version of Ziggy Marley's Tomorrow People when me prefer more than the original.
Well, here's the deal now. So you see how things are interesting, and I unfortunately have to boogie, but the same way some of these producers, PR people, will look on certain people and go, Rockwell knowing that, so me now go send him.
Right.
Because I've never heard that project. I've never heard that song.
Right.
And obviously you have. Have you heard it?
No.
Okay. You see what I'm saying?
Them do have a spirit too, but
There are so many though that get lost in the shuffle.
It has to. When one artist is releasing
but here's the reality of it.
15 songs a week.
It is also highly likely, don't quote me, but it is also highly likely that he himself and his team didn't put as much into pushing that one because he too.
Because his core audience is not that, so them not spending no time or money on it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
So you can't. So in a case,
So it
that's not
dies.
just it. Exactly.
So where an artist could have possibly crossed over, where an artist could have actually
Gain that new
gotten
fan
me
base.
to play, Marlon to play a Cartel song. Because
Well, here's the thing.
Ramping Shop, after Ramping Shop, I
Here's the thing.
Summertime class.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
class.
saying. It's about
Here's the thing with Cartel and me, from a radio standpoint. There were a few cartels that I have played. Those are not the ones that people want to hear.
Right. Exactly. But again, it goes back to the beginning of the show where we
Very
said
true.
demographics.
very true.
You know, demographics.
Because I've played card, I've selected to. I say, I like what he's saying here, and
Them don't want to hear that.
the delivery is solid, it's a nice rhythm, whatever.
Yeah.
But they don't fly.
Yeah.
They don't fly.
He's already in the box. That's where he shall remain. Ladies and gentlemen, yes. So, gentlemen, thank you so much. First of all, we way past the time, but I don't see. I almost expected it, so to speak.
Yeah,
but I
but
wanna.
dinner is on you, right?
What do you mean, man? I want to you, man. $10 million to my 500,000.
500,000. You spend that 500,000 tonight, though, man. Tell you that. It's a steak I want.
The budget is real. I want to big up those people watching on Jamaicans.com, all those people watching the Homegrown G Code platform. Thank you all so much for sticking with us throughout the whole thing. The viewership that has stand up tall from beginning to end. Hit me up on social media at my G Code, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. All right. This episode is going to be available on the podcast really, really soon. So you'll be able to hear it on Spotify and wherever you listen to your podcast. All right. I'll make sure this one goes up because a conversation that you all need to hear right now. Again, when we get off of here, feel free to tell your friends to go listen. Sir Rock, get the people them the information where they need to catch up with you.
7 a.m. to 11 a.m. Rockthebox.net.
As simple
Mondays through Fridays.
as that.
That's that.
Social media.
At Sir Rockwell 24/7 IG. I don't even worry about Facebook. They lock me down all the time. At Sir Rockwell 24/7. That's how we do what we do when we do how we do it.
Bang. Marlon Burrell.
Yes,
Real
sir.
Rockers. Talk to the masses. Where they can find you and what's popping.
Monday and Wednesday, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Coming to you from Reggae Global Radio. And big up to all the network affiliates carrying the show. Rock the Box.
Simulcasting on rockthebox.net. Ed Robinson, big up your status, brethren. Joanna Marie. Enough love.
Yeah, so Monday and Wednesday, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We do the music, we do entertainment news, and
Everything. The encyclopedia.
Brother, and Jono, you want the information? Check Marlon.
What?
You know what I mean? Marlon got it all. Matter of fact, I need you to tell me what album I did first because I'm forgetting my first.
Hold on. And I'm going to leave with this.
oh Lord,
Marlon, I know where I'm going.
I know where you're going.
You know where you're going.
I already know.
When Marlon can correct Barry's Hammond on Barry's Hammond all the information, you know what's a thing sticky. I gone.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Marlon Burrell, it's Sir Rockwell. Social media. What is social media, Marlon?
Marlon Burrell, Facebook, IG, Marlon Burrell.
Simple
That's
as that.
simple.
Real Rockers, ROCKAZ on YouTube.
Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, we out of here. Thank y'all again so much for the love. I appreciate it. One time again, tell your friends to tell their friends. Mark your lodge up. Everybody, we got to go.
And there you have it. Thank you so much for tuning in. It has indeed been a pleasure. If you haven't yet subscribed to the podcast, remember, Homegrown with G. Cole is available on iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Radio.com, YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcast, we are there. We listen to some great music. We talk to some great people. Also, please check out the website, homegrownwithgcole.com, for all things homegrown. Remember, be safe, be kind, and be good to each other. My name is G. Cole, and this is Homegrown.
Nakikinig ka sa música Homegrown with G. Cole.
Estás escuchando Homegrown con G. Cole.
您现在正在收听的是 Homegrown with G. Cole.
You're listening to Homegrown with G. Cole.
Remember, all the music played here on the podcast Homegrown with G. Cole is available on iTunes, Spotify, and all your digital retailers. Please support the artists.